Benny, bring me everyone.
What do you mean, everyone?
Everyone! I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Barry Manilow know that you raid his wardrobe?
Let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude.
No one is to stone anyone until I blow this whistle.
We can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Zedos Game Podcast 143. Hello, everybody. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Doing good, man. How are you?
Yeah, summer, August. Yeah, it's grey.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go straight into the trailers because we've got a few here, and the first trailer is the card counter, and this is a film with Oscar Isaac doing some card counting. What did you guys make of this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It captured my attention. I think it was a case of if it was just going to be another standard gambling, card counting kind of box standard thing, but obviously there seems to be a lot more to it than that. So yeah, it kind of intrigued me. It's a Martin Scorsese presents, so obviously he's a producer on it. But yeah, I dug it. Looks like gritty. You know, it's gritty. It looks like a very small cast as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, Oscar Isaac, Tiffany Haddish, Ty Sheeran, and William Dafoe, that's all that's credited. But when you go back through the trailer, there's actually not many characters at all. So there seems to be something where obviously he goes to prison, he's learned the skill, but obviously it's something that's got him into prison that he is now extracting his vengeance or revenge for and stuff like that, and using the skills that he's learned, I guess. So, yeah, writer director Paul Schrader. The name doesn't ring a bell. I don't know what else or if he's done anything else.
Paul Schrader, he's Scorsese's go-to writer back in the 80s. He's written such classics such as Taxi Driver, Raging Bull. Yeah, like a lot of his older films, basically. He also has quite a big directing career. He did American Gigolo, Touch, Forever Mine back in the 80s. So, yeah, he's not done anything in the, he hasn't done anything since 2014. But, like, I guess a lot of his films have hit, like, independent films, film markets. Because, obviously, like, his style's very much like Scorsese's, if that makes sense. So it's very autobiographical kind of style where you follow one main character, etc. And he writes most of his screenplays as well. So it should be quite good because he doesn't really do crap work. So I think having someone like Oscar Isaacs in there who's quite hot at the moment really benefits him. Because I don't think a lot of his work really has been highlighted that much as a director, apart from American Gigolo, which was way back in the 70s. So I think we're in for a treat here. I think there's more to this film, like Kenan suggests, rather than just like cards and stuff. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see this actually, now that I know who's behind it and stuff, and I'm familiar with a lot more of his films. So yeah, cool.
Neil?
I mean, I thought the trailer was a bit weird in as much as I noticed that the camera work starts to change. So, like, the scenes where he's in jail, the camera work's totally different than when he's outside. It's almost like there are scenes where almost fish lens on it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, as Ken said, it's it doesn't look like it's just the atypical like he counts cards. It looks like there is deeper meanings to what's going on, and yeah, I mean it was serviceable. It showed something that seemed like it could get people interested. I wasn't completely sold on it, but I was put into the mind frame of like, oh, okay, well when this comes out, I'll watch it, but this isn't one of those. I'm going to the cinema. I'm going to have to see this as soon as it comes out.
Yeah. I've got to say the same. I had to watch this trailer a couple of times to maybe because of there's a lot of dialogue in it, and
Yeah, there is.
and
A lot of voiceover.
yeah,
work.
and but maybe it's just me. I got to the end of it through the first watch. I said, I have no idea what's going on in this trailer, and then I watched it again, and it's very technical. It's more technical than most trailers because you don't it's almost like a I don't really know how to suggest my feelings about it because I didn't really understand it. I understand that he's a tortured soul in some way, and that's about it. I don't really understand anything about card counting other films that I've watched or that particular type of skill, but it looks well filmed, and so it's something clearly I'm missing, and so I won't judge this trailer particularly harshly. I think they tried to throw in as much information as they could. This
is a one and done trailer, so it's kind of they won't do another one. So it was just a case of we need to kind of give you the premise, everything all in one go, kind of thing.
Yeah. I remember they used to do when we were working at the cinema. They used to have a lot of trailers like this for these type of dramas, and they pack everything in. It'd be one and done trailers, as you said, and this one just didn't. I'm still a little bit. Yeah, I think it's good. So, yeah, it's one of those things. Zach. Oh, we've had your one or two. Okay, we'll move on straight into the next one. And the next trailer is Kate, and this one stars Elizabeth Winstead and Woody Harrelson. I don't know who the other girl is. If someone could enlighten me, but it's a Netflix film, and again, they're doing the John Wick, but it's not type of premise. I don't know what to feel about these films anymore. Especially the Netflix ones. They come out of nowhere. They come out in a month and then they disappear. And
it's by the producers of John Wick and Atomic Blonde. So,
I mean, it looks that way, but I can't say that it hooked me in any way. It feels very samey. But again, that could be me. What did you guys think?
I prefer the trailer than I did to say Atomic Blonde. I thought this actually gripped me a little bit more. I quite like the actress Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
I do as well.
I really like her, so that's kind of what's hooked me in. But yeah, it's very much that John Wick style. It's very much, it's got that time effect to it, so like a crank or whatever it is. It's just a case of got this much time where I'm probably going to die and I need to extract my vengeance before I die, kind of thing. So I do, it's not a bad thing because it hopefully will just move the pace of the movie along, that time effect. But yeah, but there was just too many cliches in the script and the trailer. Just like, you're all gonna die. Oh, there's 20 of us. Oh, you're outnumbered. It's just very on the nose, cliche, hit your markers. But that's Netflix movies at the moment, and that's what we're gonna get. So yeah, I think a lot of it's just going to depend on the action and how it turns out. But yeah, it just seemed very run of the mill, action movie. But yeah, it looked decent in terms of its aesthetic and everything like that. And like I said, the lead intrigued me more than anything else.
Yeah, Neil.
Yeah, I was fully booked when this trailer finished. I was like, yeah. September 10th, got me because
Ewan McGregor's wife. Ewan McGregor's wife.
Are they married? I know they're going out with each other, but I didn't.
Or partner. I don't know if they're married, but yeah.
Could be known to Ewan McGregor. He goes through partners like water.
Oh damn.
But I thought it was a serviceable trailer. For me, I get what Ken's saying about there's too many cliches, but you know what I look at it like the Netflix and the Amazon kind of like made by Netflix, made by Amazon action films. I look at them basically as like the VHS market in like the late 80s.
Right.
This is like, oh well, we've got. There's Terminator. Okay, so now we've got, like Robot Man, and now we're gonna have cybernetic kid, and you just get a ton of them. So obviously we've got John Wick and Atomic Blonde. So now we have to have Kate, and then we're gonna have another movie like that. We've got Jolt. It's just a stream of these films where it's just one tiny thing to get is the hook. So I guess the tiny thing for this one is, she's got like 14 hours to live. So everything roughly take place within 14 hours.
Yeah. The MacGuffin is her life.
Yeah. If it wasn't a Netflix film, I'd be questioning the title a lot more, because I just don't think Kate itself is very marketable.
No.
Especially when you got a film called Karen coming out. So, but obviously with Netflix, it doesn't really matter, because you're going to drop on there, you'll see it, and then you'll click on it and watch it. So,
it's got that rhetoric here. Satch, what did you make of it?
I thought it was okay. I mean, like, I thought the trailer was kind of standard, though. I thought it was kind of standard. It didn't have like the action movie grit for me, if that makes sense. That most action movie trailers kind of do. But yeah, it seemed like pretty standard. Like how like Atomic Blonde did, and like how John Wick kind of does. It just didn't have that initial pull for me. But one thing I did like about this female antagonist, well, it looks like she's fucked up, man. She's got a drug in her or something, and like she looks a bit battered and bruised. She's not some Me Too, like I'm almighty and powerful and can't get in without a scratch kind of action movie person. She seems very grounded, so that I like. You know what I mean? That I like a lot.
But the fact that then they went, there's 20 people, that's not a problem for her, then that goes completely the opposite.
Well, it kind of depends. It's like how when you have John Wick, where he's the best of the best, but he still bleeds. He still, you know what I mean? He still gets into scrapes. So, you know what I mean? Like if she was jumping out of a Harrier jet and landing on her feet, kind of Black Widow, I'd be okay, yawn. But do you know what I mean? That's what I like, grounded action. This is showing me grounded action. It just hasn't shown me something that has made me go. It hasn't shown me that action, that a snippet of an action scene that's got the hook. If that makes sense.
I did like the bit where she cocked the gun on her face. That was quite cool.
Yeah. One thing though, right? To go on what you said. We're like, there's 20 of us, and it was like, you're outnumbered. I think. Personally, I think that outlook is probably just because we haven't seen the film. Because if, like, the exact same scene, but they're talking about John Wick.
See, no, they didn't put in the first. If you watch the first,
you still feel the same.
I get you.
You watch the first John Wick film, you've watched the second John Wick film. Someone's arguing, and they're like, we've got 20 men, and you're like, you're outnumbered.
Yeah,
but they're talking about John Wick.
Yeah, I see.
In the John Wick movies, they tend to be. They show the respect to the name, and they show fear, but it's not the bravado and the ego that somebody then calls out, because nobody speaks on John Wick's behalf, really. Do you know what I mean? So
but
it's the bravado that she shows in there, which then is like, okay, she is all powerful. It's fine, So, she's from the beginning, she looks like a sniper. And now she's this all action, hand to hand combat type of person. So what I'm just saying is, I get it from a trailer point of view. They want to make the impact, like, oh my gosh, she's like in the top and stuff like that. But I just found the dialogue a bit clunky. That's just me personally.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Well, I said I like the Japan setting very much so. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with this. I think the director, what did he do? They did shit. Oh, well, maybe this might redeem them. What was it? The not Cinderella, Snow White, Winter's War.
Okay.
You know what I'm on about? The Huntsman.
Yeah.
The Huntsman.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Winter's War. I'm like, great. Yeah.
well, in terms of films similar to this, I watched Jolt the other day, and that's the film is more or less identical to this film. So there's that's with Kate Beckinsale. She's good in it, but the film is really heavily mediocre. It's one of those films that Saturday night didn't go out, might as well watch that.
But I've just checked his filmography. So this is only his second movie. So like Sasha said, The Huntsman Winter's War. But he's been around visual effects and second unit director for a while. So he was second unit director on Maleficent and Solstice visual effects, Pirates of the Caribbean visual effects artist. So he's been in the industry a little while. But so he's the type of character that Netflix can be like, yeah, all right, if you want to make a movie.
Right, yeah, he's got a blank check to kind of do something.
And that's and this is the kind of platform you can get a lot of these second-time directors onto this kind of platform. Otherwise, look, Netflix was a DVD machine, so it is that DVD platform. So it's, it is kind of perfect for that kind of fodder.
Yeah, that's so true, actually. I mean, yeah, it's kind of got that kind of what's it called, matinee almost feel to it, like a Hong Kong film that you would see on Saturday nights or something. 80s kung fu film. But I guess in that sense, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, when I watched Jolt, Kate Beckinsale's great in it. So is Stanley Tucci, but it is what it is. And you see where the budget begins and where the budget ends. And so it's makes for interesting watching. But yeah, that is Kate. Again, very weirdly named because there's lots of that's gonna get lost. Anyway, I'm not the marketer. Next film is if I can find a film poster, is Army of Thieves, which is a prequel to the Zack Snyder Army of the Dead. And I've got to say, it's an interesting premise to see the before and after. I'm more interested in this film than I was the Army of the Dead film. Maybe that's controversial, I don't know, but it is what it is. What did you guys make of it?
I didn't mind Army of the Dead. It was, the opening credits are probably the best thing on it. It was just, it is one of those throwaway kind of, fairly enjoyable movies. It wasn't too bad. But in terms of kind of the focus of the character, this is probably the character I would have least expected to have like a prequel movie. The Safecracker. There's nothing in Army of the Dead to suggest that he is this high profile big time player, because he seems to be obviously under the radar at that point, but it's probably because of what happens in this movie. But it just looks like a standard sort of like heist movie. I don't think the zombies are necessarily going to play that much into it. I don't know. But I just didn't think it was a great trailer. I think it was just it was a lot of text as opposed to the actual film. Maybe it's just because they haven't shot a lot of it yet. Right. It just seemed a lot of text and cut shots as opposed to actual scenes of the movie. Yeah. So. Yeah. It's got it looks like it's trying to be Mission Impossible mixed with something else.
Yeah. A bit like Ocean's 11 or something.
Yeah. The heist movie mixed with action, espionage, almost set piece kind of thing.
And it looks like the same safe as in the last movie,
Yeah, I'm guessing that's what they're going for.
When he comes into that movie, he's like, "Oh my god, it's like I haven't seen this before."
Yeah.
Well, hang on a sec.
I haven't seen the Army of the Dead, so I can't comment. But the way that he's kind of like done the before the whatever the disaster happened, and Army of the that's interesting. I like that concept. So, Satch, what did you make of this? Your audio.
You're on mute.
You're muted.
So I haven't seen Army of the Dead, and this trailer just looked kind of standard. It does have what's his name? Man like Modine in here. So I was like, "Right, what's he doing in there?" But otherwise,
is that a BBC show? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The BBC Free show with the guy called Modine. Yeah, I was like, what's he doing in a Hollywood movie? But I guess like it's got a British cast set in Britain, so that's why. But we'll see. I don't know.
And one of these guys used to be in Hollyoaks.
Yeah, says it all, really.
I didn't realize the main guy, the safecracker, is actually the director as well.
Oh,
okay.
You said what's going on now?
You
Two
said
guys from
one of the
Hollyoaks.
main guys
Yeah.
is two people from Hollyoaks in here.
Oh, okay. The girl, I forgot her name.
Yeah, Natalie
Yeah.
Emmanuel. Everybody forgets that. I mean, so I watched Army of the Dead, and I very much enjoyed it. I didn't have any issues with it. It wasn't, I knew from the trailer this is not going to be the zombie horror film, so I didn't go in there expecting that. I went in there pretty much expecting like a filmed version of The Walking Dead, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And that's, for the most part, what I got. It was, I think Army of the Dead, if it was a comic book, I think it would have probably, if it was a comic book that got made into a film, the reception would have probably have been better.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reception for the film is probably lower, probably because of the very kind of Marmite appeal that Zack Snyder has right now.
You're right.
But likewise, to what Ken said, I would not have chosen the Safecracker as my guy for a film. But then again, for the most part, everyone else in the film is pretty generic.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Army of the Dead. They're pretty generic. All right, you've got the hard-ass, badass soldiers, and then you got the other people. So there isn't much to like there isn't much to kind of deep dive on.
Yeah.
Whereas with the same, he's somewhat of an anomaly. So by him having his own movie, he was like, okay, right. Look, it's going to be on Netflix. This is not something I have to go like fork out big money to go and deal with. This isn't something I need to do anything other than wait for it to load on my phone or TV to come out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah. And it's got Natalie Emmanuel, which is always a plus for a film for me. So, yeah.
Okay, I have nothing more to say on this. When does that come out?
And near the end of the year, I think September, October time.
Okay. So yeah, the fall, as the Americans call it. Okay, on to the next film, and that is House of Gucci by Ridley Scott. And this trailer came out of nowhere last week, and it's got Ridley Scott written all over it. The way it's edited, the way the lighting, Ridley Scott has a way with his trailers and the look to his films. I guess that's why it's Ridley Scott. It's usually a montage of music with a couple of lines, and big hit. You just see big hitters. You see names, names, and it's kind of
Academy Award winner, Academy Award nominee.
Yeah. And go on.
No, I loved it.
Yeah.
I thought it was brilliant. I mean, we saw the last Duel. And again, you can tell that's a Ridley Scott movie. But it's the story of Gucci and the family. In terms of the murder. Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Jeremy Irons, Salma Hayek, Al Pacino, some really, really big names in there. I wasn't even aware of this movie. So, to see it come together like that. Lady Gaga is becoming quite a powerhouse in terms of acting. Just from that trailer, I thought she looked fantastic.
Yeah.
It sounded great. Adam Driver just continues to, obviously Scott likes him because that's 2 movies he's in right now. With him. So Jared Leto, again, he wants to be a chameleon. He wants to change for every role. So again, he looks different here. So yeah, I'm all up for this. This really intrigued me. I think it was a very well put together trailer.
Yeah,
gives you enough of an idea of, even if you don't know the story of Gucci, it's just kind of saying, it's about family, it's about money, it's about power, it's about murder, so it's like, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, it's very slick. Satch.
Yeah, I really it's been a while. It's been quite some time. This has been on the cards for about 15 years now. And what was it? I've got a friend on production of this. We've got a friend on production of this. My friend Lucy, she worked on Prometheus and X-Men First Class and Robin Hood. This was actually supposed to be another film she worked on. Basically, this was going to be put in production right after Robin Hood.
Yeah, it was supposed to be around 2006, 2007, I think. DiCaprio and Angelina Jolie were attached to it at the time.
That was back then. I think when my friend was on board, this was around 2010-ish, because it's like one of those scripts that has always been in the back burner, you know, one of those passion projects for him. So he's always kind of had this script or a version of the script being developed and stuff. It almost went ahead right after Robin Hood, but other projects took over. Maybe it was Prometheus, I don't know.
Yeah, it was Prometheus, because that came out 2012.
Yeah, so must have been Prometheus, and then this just got put on the back burner for a while, and yeah, it looks like he's just done it, and it looks like it's Scott Sierra, because he's just whooping. You know what? For a man his age, he's still whooping out. Whether you like his movies or whether you don't, guy's just consistent with bringing shit out, man. And
he doesn't.
Guy his age, damn. That's all I gotta say. Damn. But you know what? Yeah, like you guys said. Great cast, great looking trailer. We got a clear idea what the movie's about. Bring it.
Yeah, Neil.
Boy, couldn't give up.
I get you. Right? I understand why.
I mean, all right. So, from a film point of view, the film looks very grand. I'm getting Godfather 1 feels. From the trailer, just from a filmmaking standpoint. You've got this powerhouse family, you've got all these different members of the family, and you know that. But because it's about Gucci and the house of Gucci, the Gucci family, I was like, boy, I am going to struggle to care about this movie.
Well, you know, it's about how he gets murdered, right?
I didn't know he got murdered.
Yeah,
you just know the
trailer. No, it's all right. Yeah. Until I saw the trailer, I had no idea that somebody got murdered. Right?
Yeah.
I don't even know who. I now know it's a he, and I'm under the impression it must be the head of the family, Gucci. But genuinely, I knew nothing about it because I'm not. Listen, you can see the T-shirt I'm wearing now. It's bringing the Spider-Man. My fashion rolls to the point of, does that have a superhero on it? That'll do, right?
So, did you see the film All the Money in the World?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you enjoy that?
I did.
There you go. It's a similar vein, right? So that was about Paul Getty, and again, not many people are familiar with that story. But it was a really great dramatic movie that I really enjoyed with some great performances. I think this is very much in that same vein. So, you know, it's just taking, a well-known name in a story and kind of delivering on that. I know the Gucci family aren't happy that Ridley Scott didn't really contact them about this.
Gangster.
Yeah, so the actual movie is based on a book written about the murders, and they were not happy with the book. And so but I think, you know, their stance is we'll wait to see what the film is before we take action.
Hey, Ridley, don't you think you should contact Gucci? Who?
Yeah. He did.
We gotta remember this, right? People need to remember, right? Ridley Scott is like the Suge Knight of filmmaking, right? They're like, oh, Gucci's not happy with you. And the next thing you know, he's on the Oscars wearing an all-red suit. If you tired of your fashion designers talking shit about films and books that get come step to Ridley Scott, right?
I get what you mean though, Neil. In terms of, I don't think I'd be interested as well. But when did he get murdered? It was like 10 years ago, wasn't it? Like 15 years ago, or something. I remember it being on the news.
I thought this shit happened in like the 80s.
No. I think it happened in the 2000s. But
wow. I know that Armani got killed in the 2000s.
A lot of these guys die, apparently, or get murdered. I think Ken's looking up at it now.
Yeah,
The book was released in 2001.
Right.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll need to have a look on who actual Gucci 95.
95. Okay. I thought it was in 2000s. So
but the book was 2000s. That's probably where it all came back up again.
Okay.
Promoted. So yeah, but 95 he was killed.
Okay. Oh, bloody hell. There's a lot.
But the studios do this. The same with Stillwater. Knox has come out and saying, nobody's contacting me about this movie. They're profiting off my name, my story, and it's all inaccurate.
Yeah.
So this is what studios do. There's just stuff that they dramatize and
they
people involved.
They do enough so they don't have to. I saw that whole drama on Twitter. So bloody hell! I didn't even.
She did a whole essay on Twitter.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even.
Invited him out onto their podcast and stuff. She was trying to reach out to him to speak to him, to like Matt Damon and stuff like that. And
nope.
I just think it's really risky to go into a movie like that because again they keep talking about who was convicted of, and it was like, well, she was acquitted, so that. So it's very difficult when you're dealing with true life stuff like this, and especially when that person's still around and there's controversy and all this kind of stuff. So
and that man, they're not
right? No. It sells because if you look at like O.J. Simpson story, that miniseries they did, that was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
I have no idea how much of it's true. But it was phenomenal.
O.J.'s in jail, so he can't say nothing.
No, he's out. He's out of jail.
He's out of jail.
He's out of jail.
He was on what's that show that? Oh my god, Sacha Baron Cohen did. Who is America? He's right at the last episode of that.
Right.
I'll be damned.
That is
He's trying to pitch Naked Gun 444 and a quarter.
What? I didn't even get that. Went right over my head to my head.
I don't know whether you know about this, Ken, but just before Leslie Nielsen died, they were going to do another Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Literally,
we talked about this.
Early 2000s. I don't know whether Ken knows, but I love bringing this up because I think it's genius. So basically, they were going to bring everybody back. And when I say everybody, including in jail O.J. Simpson, who agreed to be in it to play himself as O.J. Simpson. Because if you watch the Police Squad TV series, Nordsberg is played by somebody else.
Yes.
So they were going to make a whole thing that O.J. Simpson's actually in jail because he kidnapped the real Nordsberg and impersonated him.
Yeah.
And O.J. Simpson agreed to be in it. And the title of the movie was called The Naked Gun. What for?
I think it was it's called Naked Gun 4. What?
No.
A Naked Gun 4. It had a really long title. But that was in it.
No, I said it correctly. It's The Naked Gun. What for?
What for? What what have we done it for?
Yeah.
What for?
Yeah, as in what? As in there's a fourth one?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Yeah, that was the thing.
I mean, if he managed to get to make that, I mean, that guy would do anything for money. The fact that he was at the end of Who Is America and Sacha Baron Cohen almost got him to confess. That guy's a genius, man. Freaking genius. Okay, we'll jump it. Neil's gone to the toilet. This is the trailer that I think he'll be very interested in looking at, which is Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, or just Venom, Let There Be Carnage.
Oh, God.
Uh-oh. I feel that someone really likes this trailer. And
oh, man. This is a swearing podcast, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck Sony. Fucking hell. That was a fucking shit trailer. We did a trailer reaction for it on the Creative Control podcast. So if you want to see our initial reactions, go check that out. I did it with Sasha, I think Neil and Andreas. It's all kinds of fucking shit for me. It's the design for Carnage looks fine. So I haven't got a concern about his necessary on-screen appearance. That looks good. Venom looks decent in terms of comic book accuracy, obviously without the white spider, but they look okay. The issues that I have with this is one, it's Cletus, isn't it?
It's Cassidy, yeah.
Cassidy, yeah. Being a comic book fan, I always wanted him to be. I always read him as like a wild, crazy maniac. What the trailer gives you is this really weird, dark, sinister kind of creepy vibe from Woody Harrelson. Now, that could be just for the trailer, the way that they've set the trailer up, and he's more manic in the thing. You know, it could be, but I don't like the portrayal that they've gone for. Now, that could be the creative decision. It could be the script. It could be Woody, you know, saying, look, right, you're a serial killer. Play it how you want to play it. Who knows? But I don't like the take that I've seen so far. The way that Carnage seems to get his powers is Cassidy bites Hardy. And it obviously goes into his blood. So you're ignoring the whole symbiote thing in terms of the biology and them giving offspring and stuff like that. I hate the dynamic between Venom and Eddie Brock. I don't like this whole puppet thing coming out and them speaking to each other. Him fucking headbutting him. I mean, the first trailer, he's cooking for him and shit. And then this one, they're having a fight and he's headbutting him. And it's just like, the symbiote is represented as stupid. And,
right.
I don't like that. The symbiote is supposed to be intelligent. It's supposed to be able to dampen stuff inside you to be able to take over to bring itself out. You know, it's supposed to be this intelligent alien being. But it's just like, I'm hungry, feed me. I'm Cookie Monster. You know, and it's just like, feed me humans. And, you know, and he sees Carnage and he's like, oh shit. And he retreats. It's like, it's a red one. And he's like, oh, come on, I'll let you eat whoever you want to eat. Okay. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck is that? I just, there's just so many things that I don't like about it. It's tough. I mean, I didn't like the original Venom movie. And it's not because it wasn't necessarily associated with Spider-Man. I just didn't again like the Eddie Brock character. I didn't like the Eddie Brock Venom vibe or anything like that. And it just seems like they've taken it to that next level now. And just for me, the humor's like really off point. It's just really, really weird. And I'm sure it'll do bank, it'll do money because the first one did. But for me, no. And yeah, I just frustrated.
What if Peter Parker shows up in it?
I don't believe that it won't happen. I can see that the reason why they changed the original Venom from an R-rated movie into like a PG-13 was to be able to cross it over with Spider-Man eventually. Mm-hmm. So they didn't have too much of a disconnect. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be very much in the same factor. You're not going to have the Cassidy who's slicing and dicing people as he does in the comics. It's going to be the tentacles kind of just knocking people out, and maybe you might eat somebody, I don't know. Mm-hmm. But I think I'd be surprised if there was a cameo at this point, because I think we would have kind of heard rumbling or rumors about it. Mm-hmm. And I think it won't happen.
Yeah.
Sorry?
There's already been rumors.
Yeah, it has been rumors, but I just think we probably would have had a little bit more about it, or some leaks or something, because the movie's been so delayed now. But because it's coming before No Way Home, I just don't see it happening at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'd more expect a Venom or Carnage appearance in the Marvel movie as opposed to him appearing in this one. Mm-hmm. That's how I see it.
Yeah, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is what it is. It's coming out. There's nothing really
you can still stop it, Ken. You can still stop it.
I don't know what I can do.
Go to Sony in Central London.
I just want Disney to buy Sony. They just need to buy them, and so they can get all their properties back. So.
Don't buy Sony, just buy Spider-Man.
The Disney PlayStation.
Disney, yeah. Well, if Disney should just go to Sony and just say, look, we'll pay $5 billion for Spider-Man and we'll walk away.
That's worth more than $5 billion, though.
But that's $5 billion in their cash now to reinvest, as opposed to pumping money into those movies and waiting over the next 15 years to do it. What I'm just saying is, yes, if they keep pumping out Spider-Man movies, they're potentially $1 billion movies each time. I get that.
Yeah.
But, as just a sale of an entity,
I get that. Problem with that, though, is Sony will never let it go.
No,
the reason it is their highest grossing IP now.
Yeah,
like literally, it is their golden egg. Has been since Spider-Man, since the original, the original Tobey Maguire film. The Spider-Man franchise has been their highest grossing franchise, film for film, and has only really gone strength to strength. Really, the only down point has been the Garfield films because both of them failed to make bank, and. You know what I mean? Like the first one, when that failed to make bank, they're like, well, we kind of expected it because of fucking it being a reboot and whatnot. So they expect it, it kind of met their expectations kind of thing. But but with number 2, they doubled down and they took it, you know what I mean? They took it to the next level. And had they have not spent that much money on marketing, and maybe if they cut a lot of stuff out of number 2, they probably would have had another hit. But they spent way too much bank on the movie itself, the marketing, and
trying to set up the Sinister Six.
And when it came out, even though it made an impressive number, I think it was 750 million, which isn't impressive for the franchise, but it's impressive for what went before. It wasn't too bad at the time.
No, that was good at the time. There's no films that were making billions back then.
Yeah, no, there were a few.
Yeah, there was a couple. But those were anomalies.
Yeah, no, really, not really.
It made money, but it just didn't receive.
Not really. It made money. It just didn't make as much because the amount they spent was something on the $380 million, including marketing mark, which meant it had to recuperate, double that. And yeah.
First of all, sorry, sir, what Spider-Man film are you talking about?
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Spider-Man 2.
Oh, no. Andrew Garfield movies.
No, Spider-Man 2 made bank.
I know that.
That made 750 million, about the same. But the difference is it was infinitely cheaper. And,
it's a different time.
Mate, and the best fucking Spider-Man film ever made, in my book. I'm sorry. I strongly believe that. But yeah, in terms of this franchise and Venom, I'm with Ken. I don't care. But where I disagree with Ken, though, is even though it's not for me, because it isn't for me, I disowned it before I even looked at the thing. The trailer, as far as trailers go, to the average Joe, it's actually a good trailer. If I knew nothing about Venom, I'd be like, hey, that's pretty good. I would see that movie.
Yeah, I agree. And Sasha said the same thing on our review, and I agreed with him on that then as well. I said, as far as a trailer goes, it's structured well. It hits the notes it needs to hit. It will get the average audience member through the doors. Yeah,
totally. But with my Spider-Man fanboy cap on, I'm just like, fuck the shit, man. Just no.
Neil.
Boy. Sony turned arguably the quote-unquote coolest, most one of the top 3 most recognizable Spider-Man characters.
Just characters in general.
Just characters in general, right? They turned him into literally Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors.
Wow, what a reference. Jesus Christ.
I said that on my podcast. I said Little Shop of Horrors, yeah.
Right.
Little Shop of Horrors, yeah. He's Audrey 2. It's where he's like, when they're standing there in the church, and it's like, it was like, holy shit. And he disappears back inside the red one. And he's like, I'll let you eat everyone. And he's like, promise? He's like, promise. And he comes back out ready to scrap. And like, bruv, that's the Little Shop of Horrors. And
yeah, I didn't mention in the podcast, but I was online speaking to Simon while playing Call of Duty, and that's when it clicked. Because I was like, Little Shop of Horrors. It's like, feed me, Eddie, feed me. And that's what he's doing throughout the movie. It's like, and that's like, that's not the symbiote, bro. That's just, and what I don't like is just Eddie is just this really weak, pathetic character in it.
He's Rick Moranis
and
from
it's
Little
just-
Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
Like, if you know nothing about Venom and Carnage and any of these characters, then
You'll be fine.
You'll be in for a treat. You should
You'll be entertained.
be in for a treat, right? If you are a comic book fan and you know who these characters really are and their origins, if you just know stuff like that, this is like the Ben Affleck Daredevil, but worse, because I quite like the Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Affleck's Daredevil, bro.
Right?
Just the park scene. Take the park scene out. Just take the park scene out, and we're all good.
My favorite part of Daredevil is Bullseye.
Yeah.
Right. But it's poorly constructed, and I'm not. Do you know what? I'm not blaming Andy Serkis, Tom Hardy, or Woody Harrelson. Not the three of them. Nah, I'm sure you guys are gonna put in. You're gonna put in that extra level work.
I do blame Hardy a bit because this was very much his vehicle, and I think he had a lot of creative input, especially in the first movie, which led to the second. So, and I think his take on Eddie Brock is his take.
He co-wrote the script, didn't he?
Yeah, so I do put a lot on him. Andy Serkis, no, he's not a director as such, but this is why it looks quite good because obviously the effects and so forth. So yeah, he's going to be a point and shoot director to fill this, to get it done. So yeah, don't blame him. Woody Harrelson again, fine actor. He's going off the script. Maybe it's his decision. Maybe he was told to play it this way. Who knows what it looked like? But in terms of the actual film, I do put a lot at Hardy's door because it's very much his vehicle.
Because that's the thing. Like, I mean, for people that don't know, Cletus Cassidy, Carnage, is literally based on the Joker. Right? Look it up to see if I'm lying. He's based on the Joker.
I can see that. I can see that.
I'm like not you guys. Like, you guys already know. I mean, like, people watching or listening to this. Right? Look it up to see if I'm wrong. He's based on the Joker. Could you see the Joker? Like, you like.
You know what's disappointing? What's disappointing for me? Woody Harrelson back in the 90s would have been my top choice for Carnage, and
because of Natural Born Killers, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, that as well as other stuff, but at the same time, like now,
it definitely wasn't for Cheers.
Yeah, even though I'm getting.
Hey, look, man, White Man Can't Jump. He could have been Carnage.
Yeah, no, but yeah, next.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just so frustrated that I would rather than kept Venom as a separate entity and make it hard R, as opposed to trying to retcon Spider-Man crossover afterwards. Because if you're going to have Spider-Man crossover, then use that as the origin and use that as the basis to create the villain, not do it after the fact. So I would have much rather just say, look, this is a different take on Venom, and it's got nothing to do with Spider-Man, and just keep it separate. But
I think of one thing that could save this, and when I say save it, like, as a franchise, there's 2 movies, but as a franchise, I'm sure it will perform. It will do what for the most part, what Sony want it to do. But I think there is one small potential saving grace, which would be if they do cross it over with Tom Holland Spider-Man. If the symbiote winds up on Tom Holland and then finds its way back to Eddie Brock and then is more faithful to the Venom that comic book fans know and love, that could potentially save it. If we say, you know what, by attaching itself to Spider-Man, that altered the character.
But then it makes no sense because it has to go through Peter Parker first to get to Venom.
We know that, but this is like film-wise how it could.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that, but the thing is, then you have to create the relationship with Eddie Brock and Peter Parker for Eddie Brock to hate Peter Parker as much
Yeah.
Well, maybe he
to
hates
have
him
that conflict
he
because
hates
we've
symbiote.
already. But the thing is, Eddie Brock. They've already said in the first one, he was working at the. He was working for
Daily.
the Bugle. He got fired. So he's already had that stuff happened. So they've already told that part of it, but not. But then obviously our Tom Holland Spider-Man's never worked for the Daily Bugle, so it's very messy.
What if they set him in the Garfield universe?
You could, but you just have to take it with a pinch of salt. Oh yeah. That's my Spider-Man.
See, do you know when you
But
said
then again,
go on.
why has he never referenced Spider-Man previously? So it's messy.
It is very messy, but I mean, whatever they're doing with the multiverse of madness, it looks like it's gonna, if anything, combine lots of different elements from lots of different Spider-Man worlds, and so it wouldn't surprise me if it showed up in Multiverse of Madness or the next Spider-Man film.
It'd be the funniest piece of shade thrown ever if they do a whole Multiverse of Madness and you see like the Jessica Alba Fantastic Four, and you see like the Ang Lee Hulk, and you see Wesley Blade, and you see Ben Affleck Daredevil, and then it's just like you see what should be the Venom Sony stuff, and it's just like blow past it like that. It'd be like, it'd be like the Lion King. It'd be like, what's that shadowy place? Don't go there.
Well, yeah. Look, I mean, as Satch said, I think general audiences. I saw this trailer with one of my mates, and they said, "Oh, that looks good, man." So it's worked.
Yeah,
it's fucking worked. So
who did you show it to?
I was with Milton at the time. When
I knew it was Milton.
So Ken, Milton was one of the guys that came to one of your house parties once and didn't know who I was. And it was like, who's Jose? Who the fuck is Joe? So, but he's kind of a general film watcher, and so when he saw that,
and it will appeal to the general audience, and that's why I said, that's why a lot of trailer reviews is like, oh yeah, it looks crazy, it looks awesome.
Yeah,
I get that, and I understand it's for those fans. It's just not for me.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay, moving on to another controversial topic, that is Blade Runner Blade Runner.
Black Lotus.
Black Lotus. Sorry, I couldn't read that for some reason. Black Lotus, and I would say that the only reason I have faith in this is because who it's directed by and who it's produced by. It's produced by the creator of Cowboy Bebop and Ninja Scroll and a few others. It's been directed by one of the directors of Ghost in the Shell, and Ghost in the Shell is essentially Blade Runner, and so it's come back around. The trailer's not. I don't particularly like the trailer. I think the trailer's really badly put together for something that is Blade Runner. I know Blade Runner is very specific with its fans, and so this is going to be a hard one to read. I don't know where this is going to go, to be honest, because it doesn't really look like Blade Runner. But that's all I have to say about it. I don't like the way that.
That's what my point was going to be.
It doesn't. It just doesn't look like Blade Runner. But the talent behind it says otherwise. So I need to figure out what this really is, because this isn't enough to show me that this is Blade Runner. Satch, go. You're bursting.
So I'm not a Blade Runner fan. I mean, I don't particularly like the original movie. I thought it was fine. I mean, I didn't see it back in the day. I saw it probably about 2-3 years ago with Sasha, and he showed me it, and I thought it's fine. But obviously, it's got its cult following. There's people who think it's like one of the best sci-fi films of all time. I totally get that. Because I wasn't a huge fan of that, I never actually got around to seeing Blade Runner 2049, so I haven't watched that either. But in terms of this, if it wasn't called Blade Runner, I wouldn't tell you as a Blade Runner anime. I couldn't tell you anything that, for me as a casual person, that would link it to it. I think a big thing is the music, the song that they put over the trailer. I think that's very not Blade Runner. It should be a score piece. as opposed to a song. It looked, first of all, I thought, oh, this looks stunning in terms of the animation. But I thought the actual characters' designs were very clunky in terms of the animation. I think the background aesthetic looked great, but they very much looked like PlayStation 2, 3 modeled characters.
Yeah.
To me, they didn't look great.
It's got a specific art style. The art style doesn't really carry it.
Yeah, exactly. But the characters look out of place with the background. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem to match up. But I got Ghost in the Shell vibes, and now you said who's behind it, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but for me, it's unlikely I'll watch it because I'm not a fan of that universe. So unless it's something that everyone goes, this is great, go watch, it's probably I want something I'll invest in my time in.
I'm going to let Satch go because he's bursting at the seams. Satch.
Yeah, I know what this is, man. I know what this is. That ain't Blade Runner. It just looks like Ken said, looked like something my PS2 could handle. I thought it was like an extension of the Yakuza series by fucking Sega, to be fair. Because it looks like a Yakuza trailer. I'm sorry. Like, it looks like it's about to come drop on PS4 in the classic downloads right now. There's nothing in there that remotely emotes Blade Runner about it. Even the animation shit. Like, she gets
No. I've got to disagree with you on that. When they're doing their martial arts bit, the choreography for it that's the only part that is really good. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, that's the only.
I had to be devil's advocate.
But I'm talking about the bit where the guy knocks her in the street. Come on, man. I've seen better physics in fucking fucking SNES games. Star Fox. Jesus.
I'm gonna say this about animation because it's like the same thing that people say about VFX, and sometimes it's not their fault. It's just time, money.
I get that, man, but don't put that in the trailer.
Hey, man, if you look, it's the same. If you work in a post-production company, so we need to get this trailer out. We need to get. It's not finished, man. We need to get this trailer out. It's not finished, man. We need to get this trailer out. All right. Have it your way, and I'm just being devil's advocate for it because of who. I mean, Cowboy Bebop. You like Cowboy Bebop.
I love Cowboy Bebop.
I like Cowboy Bebop.
But you know, if it looked like Cowboy Bebop, I'd probably have a different opinion. But it doesn't. It looks like a cheap PS2 game. Now, everyone, sure, they're a great animation company for sure. But the thing is, though, everybody has a dud sometimes. Maybe this is their dud. Just putting it out there. And Ridley's clearly doing it for the money. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, this is Adult Swim. I don't think there's any money involved in this.
Oh, okay. Well,
Adult Swim doesn't have. They don't have much money, capital.
Well, okay, that explains the choice of animation.
They gave it all to Rick and Morty for 100 episodes.
Yeah.
That's Channel 4, actually.
But I think I've said everything I need to say. To be honest, I'm not too enthusiastic, really. But we'll see. Maybe I'll change my mind when it comes out.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, there was anime they did for 2049. Like, they did like different short films, and there was and there was an animation one that looked crisp.
And that was done by the Shichiro Watanabe as well.
Yeah. So why did they change it up, man?
Money's
budgets. Damn, man. Because that was a good short. That was a damn good short film, man. And it was just like, oh man. So when I first heard of this project, I thought maybe it was in vain of that, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds really good. And then I get this, and it's like, whoa, this isn't what I bought, man. This isn't what you told me. All right, cool, whatever, innit? But we'll see when it comes out, man. Maybe I might change my tune. Maybe I could be wrong. But
we could all be wrong. It could be exactly what it is, a piece of shit. But
but right now, with the information that I have in front of me, it's a big pile of turds. And until it isn't, stay tuned.
Neil.
Okay, so I am slightly torn on this one, right? Because I do agree it doesn't look like Blade Runner. But that is mainly because I was trying to pinpoint all you guys have been talking about, trying to pinpoint what I think it is. Blade Runner, from everything I've seen of it, from like both movies and all three of those shorts, it is very kind of sky level. It's very vast landscapes. Like, you know, that opening to the original Blade Runner film, like, that will never, ever, ever not be as iconic and classic as it is.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
That trailer, like, everything is on the ground. It's all ground level. And I'm like, Blade Runner established itself as sky level, broad strokes. And this is like, no, we're on the ground. That's one thing. The style of animation, I don't think there's anything wrong with the style of animation, but I think for this project, it's probably the wrong style.
Yeah.
I think, like, when you guys were saying, you know, about Ghost in the Shell, I feel like that animation style, the original Ghost in the Shell as presented, I know, hand-drawn and all of that, that is what should have happened for this project. I know that would have probably took a lot longer to do. I don't know if it would have cost more or cost less, but... It would
cost more.
That it would have cost more? Well, there you go. But I'm like, that should have been what you did when you decided to make this Blade Runner Black Lotus.
Yeah, I more or less agree with you doing this stuff.
Because you know what? Unfortunately, with the graphic style they used, you know what it reminded me of? Battle Angel Alita. Yeah. I've got you. Yeah, it's like a on budget Battle Angel, because I mean, it kind of does look like that. Yeah, it's like a Battle Angel with less money behind it.
Yeah, I mean, that's really unfortunate to put a name. I don't know why they went with Adult Swim to budget this, but yeah,
you never know. Adult Swim probably might have approached them.
Yeah, maybe. But if Ridley Scott's attached to it as well, I can't see him doing that. Maybe it's a one-off thing to see if they could do it.
Ridley Scott being attached to it, they might have sent him the story. He read it and he was like, "Yeah, I love it. Go ahead, go."
Right.
It's a third. Look, end of the day, it's a third-party series, man. It's not like.
He'll just say it's not my movie. It's got, you know, it's.
I didn't do this.
Yeah, I do. I just got paid. It's like Tarantino. It's like Tarantino and Rodriguez. They executive produced from Dusk Till Dawn 2 and 3. But you know what? We ain't talking about those films. You know what I mean? Although now I'm getting flashbacks of what Kelly Kapowski from fucking Saved by the Bell now. So I'm going to stop there.
Was she in that?
Yeah, she's the number 2.
Oh, okay.
Shower scene.
I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, it should stop there.
Yeah, I did.
Robert Patrick's in it though.
Yeah, I know. He's on the front. He's on the poster.
Yeah,
I remember it coming out, and they tried to make it look like the original poster.
Texas Blood Money.
The Texas Blood Money. Yeah, that was it.
Well, we've talked about this enough. We've gone over an hour, so. Topics, baby, and this one's easy to answer. So Netflix are trying to bag Christopher Nolan. Good luck, buddies. Good luck.
Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's so not going to happen. No way. He doesn't like their model, and that's that. It's like trying to.
Unless he got a guarantee from them that they would get a cinema release.
Yep.
Yeah.
Potentially to coincide with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way they'll get it.
Yep. And
distribute, but they won't give it to Netflix.
Yeah. I just can't.
See, you know what? I do understand and I do believe that Netflix is in no way, shape, or form going to get Christopher Nolan's movie. However, I do remember being in Los Angeles when The Irishman was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
And I do distinctly remember they had a premiere, a long Hollywood Boulevard, Graham's Chinese Theater premiere for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I can just imagine, like, depending on what's going on with Warner Brothers, because obviously Nolan was was the name Dennis Villeneuve, right? They were very displeased with Warner Brothers' behavior in regards to HBO Max and the releasing of films and that. So I think he might not like their model, but I think it's a conversation that he would at least listen to before he outright says no. I don't think it's
I don't even think he'll do.
Hang on.
Who wanted Tenet to come out in the middle of the pandemic? He'd rather Tenet take half the money and come out in the middle of the pandemic than it go onto HBO Max. That's how he felt. So, yeah. I mean, because if he was smart, he would have held that movie back. He was like, I don't care, put it out there. So I don't see
Netflix say to him, you know what? We'll give you a month. We'll give you 30 days where it's just in cinemas.
I don't think distributors will agree to it with Netflix.
No.
Okay, so there's a lot of factors to this for my answer here. There's a lot of factors. Yeah, there is. Yeah,
I can't see how.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing.
I thought you'd have just said hell no.
No. There's a lot of things. I can see Netflix's stance, and they got to play a waiting game, and it's a potential waiting game. You see, Christopher Nolan has had his first flop, which is Tenet. Okay.
No. That's not a flop.
Why is it not a flop?
Because it came out in a pandemic.
Don't worry about the pandemic. Flop didn't make its budget back.
Okay, then every film is a flop. Then
and that's right. I'm not saying that. Okay. No, that's very true. I'm not putting him above everyone else. I'm using a business mind now. I'm like being analytical here. Okay, so forget all of that. Forget all of that shit, egos and whatnot. Yeah, his first flop. Fact. Okay, now Warner Brothers. They were under AT&T. AT&T are the guys that mismanaged everything during this pandemic.
I see where you're going.
In terms of everything. And they're obviously trying to promote HBO Max, yada, yada, yada. Well, guess what? They're gone now. You know what I mean? They're gone. Discovery are in now. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Discovery Channel guy, he seems to know his shit. You know what I mean? But we can't... That deal has only just gone through. So we don't... we're jumping the gun a little bit too much on certain things here. Maybe not on this Netflix thing, but I've got to explain myself a lot more. So first thing that guy's going to probably do is make it up to all these filmmakers. He has to. Otherwise, he's going to lose a lot of talent at the studio. Christopher Nolan at Warner Brothers has a lot of leeway because of the Dark Knight trilogy. He's made bank for them, hand over fist. At Warner's, he gets so much creative freedom. And right now, at this moment in time, he can go to any studio and make whatever the fuck he wants. Okay? That's a fact. Okay? Now, Warner's, at this conjunction, they have to, or it would make more sense for them to secure him for his next film. You know what I mean? Whatever it is he wants. You know what I mean? And they've got to take their pandemic, like you said, Joe, as, okay, that was the pandemic. Mm-hmm. However, these are his new bosses. They might not, that excuse might not fly about the pandemic. They might be like, no, we want results. Or they might be, we want another Batman. Or they might be, you know what I mean? You got to understand, there's certain terms and conditions.
If they're stupid, they'll do that, yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know their MO. Okay, we really don't know their MO. However, if he goes off to another studio, sure, he can do what he wants. But if that film flops, not saying that it will, because we can all confidently say he makes films that people generally want to see in cinema, if that makes sense, just to see what the next Nolan opus is. But, you know what I mean? Let's say it flops, he's not going to have that creative freedom on the next film at all, unless he has a franchise behind his back, which he doesn't anymore. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Netflix are in the we will give our filmmakers creative freedom on all of their projects. They're also in the waiting game category. Look at Spielberg. Okay? Spielberg said no. And that was only a couple of months ago. Or, about a year ago. He was like, no, fuck Netflix, blah, blah, blah. I'll never do that. And guess what? He's got some proper contracts with them. like 5 films, I think.
He's got nothing left to prove, man. He can do anything the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
man.
but that's not the point. The point is he made a big dick move by running his mouth, saying, "I'm Steven Spielberg. My shit will never be on Netflix." And then he did a fucking U-turn. Okay, so that's Steven fucking Spielberg. All right.
Again, he's got nothing to prove.
Again, but neither does Nolan.
No. No. You just said it. He had his first flop. He's got something to prove again.
Does he really? I mean, he's got like what's it about 9 other films that says I'm Christopher Nolan. I'm an auteur.
See, this is how I thought. I don't see otherwise.
But I'm giving you scenarios here of what the conversations are for people to go down here. Now, you've got to understand, Netflix are willing to wait for him. They don't give a fuck. Okay, they don't give a fuck. They'll wait 10 years if they have to, if they're still around in 10 years. You know what I mean? They care about content. They care about getting people to subscribe to their service and quality content.
There's only so many people in the world.
Hey, look, they've waited this
growing every day, Joe. Growing every day.
They've waited this long. They managed to snag Scorsese. They managed to snag Spielberg.
Mm-hmm.
These are big names, man. These ain't little fish. If they were little fish, then fine. You know what I mean? But Nolan's no different to any other big-time director at his status. And I'm going to say at his status, okay? Because he has a lot of clout, you know? But it's a waiting game, okay? Yeah, sure. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he sticks with Warner's. Maybe he does do his thing with another studio. Maybe he does hit after hit after hit and has the untouchable, the hand of God. You know what I mean? But
so here's my counter to that. So I think Nolan's ego wouldn't allow him to do it. I just think he thinks of himself as a certain type of character and a director that his movies must be seen on the big screen. And I don't think he would actually turn around and change his mind. The difference with Spielberg is it's Amblin Entertainment, obviously his company, that have signed the deal with Netflix, but it's not exclusivity. So there's projects that they're going to do with Amblin, but they have contracts with Universal and other people. So it's not an exclusivity contract. So it's not like, we've got all Amblin stuff now. Spielberg will get executive producer credits on everything that goes through Netflix, but there's nothing to say he's actually going to direct anything for Netflix. So that's not part of the deal. So he can have his name on something because Netflix are going to pay him money. So if he does some lower movies or he does some series, which is Amblin Entertainment, he's executive producer on Transformers. You think he gives a shit about that franchise? No, he's just getting his money. So I think the difference is here. Spielberg is getting paid because Amblin Entertainment has got that deal, and he's just going to have an executive producer credit. So that's for that. He will only direct movies that go onto the big screen. That's how I see it.
Same time though, they're willing to do whatever these directors want. For example, dream projects. Spielberg has bitched on in the past like how long's Netflix been? About 10 years?
No, longer than that. From 2000, 2002.
Since it's been a streaming service, not when it was, before, not prior streaming service, I'm talking.
2003 then.
Okay, so he's the kind of director like Ridley Scott, right? Like Martin Scorsese, that have loads of passion projects that can't get off the ground because of budget, because of when they're set, because the cinemas don't make that kind of movie. Why do you think Martin Scorsese is slagging off superhero movies? Because he can't make his period drama or his period piece that's set in the 70s and stuff like that. Netflix,
because he wants a huge budget to make a movie that doesn't need a huge budget.
But Netflix is the place to go for stuff like that.
Exactly. And that's the reason why The Irishman went through there, because nobody else would give him the money for it.
Exactly. But the same rules apply for Spielberg, Nolan, and everybody else. If they got that passion project that no one wants to fund, or maybe Nolan does a Marvel film when his movie flops. You know what I mean? Not saying that his movie will flop, but it's an avenue. You've got to scratch the itch for them before you can play with your big boys toys. And the thing is with him, his franchise was Batman. He's not coming back to that. I don't see him coming back to that ever, because he has kind of like finished that off.
No, Warner Brothers has ruined that relationship. Completely ruined it.
Yeah, but that was under the old guard. Then.
Sure.
That was under AT&T.
They have to come to him.
They have to come to him. And I'm not saying that they won't. They have to. You know what I mean? Because at the moment, Warner Brothers currently are in a position where they've pissed off the old set of people. They pissed off Denis Villeneuve. They've kind of rebutted on that HBO thing a little bit. So there's a little bit of damage control going on there. So I think everything will be fine. My stance is I think everything will be fine. I think Discovery are going to reach out to Nolan and they're going to bury the hatchet. That's what I think will happen. I don't know whether it will definitely happen because he's too big a talent to be missed. But that doesn't mean that Netflix won't wait for an opportunity for whenever. You know what I mean? Because that's their MO. So yeah. Well, that's what
I think Spielberg though, he carries a different kind of credential than Nolan, and so he will still get to direct the movies that he wants to direct. So, he did alternate. So he did if we go back to say 2011, he did Tintin, then he done Warhorse, then he done Lincoln. Lincoln was a big project he wanted to do for years. Bridge of Spies, then he does BFG, but then he does The Post. He does Ready Player One. Now he's doing West Side Story. The next he's got is the Fablemans, which is like semi-autobiography.
It's about his life,
yeah, exactly. So he still gets to do what he wants because he is Spielberg, and those type of movies go up for Oscars. So like The Post, most people will be like, "Oh, do you know that movie? Have you seen that movie?" Not many people have, but it gets Oscar nominated because of the.
Oh yeah, totally. But the thing is, though, Ken, both The Post, Lincoln, and no, not Warhorse. Post and Lincoln, development hell for years.
So
because no one would fund it. It took a lot for both of those movies to get made. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, right.
And that's
I get that.
But it took years, like proper years. Decades in the case of Lincoln. Liam Neeson was attached for Lincoln for like 12 years. Okay, and they just couldn't get funding for that movie at all. And then when it was available, he had to drop out. Daniel Day-Lewis was never supposed to be Lincoln. So it's that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's done all this stuff, but he's still, even though he's Steven Spielberg, he still gets blocked. There are still projects he still hasn't made. Still hasn't made to this day. Like West Side Story. Was supposed to be made like 15 years ago. Only now is it coming to fruition. So it's
yeah, but that you got to remember, there's a lot of things that go into films staying in or coming out of development hell, right? West Side Story pops up now because the zeitgeist of the world, of society.
Oh yeah, of course.
They're like, we want more ethnic films and all of that, so that's what brings it in.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, of everything you said, to be honest, I agree with. I would say about 90% of it. There's only one thing I have to say I can't agree on, where you say that this is Nolan's first flop and that the bigwigs are gonna be like, no, you don't give a shit about the pandemic. This is your flop. You got to deal with it.
No, I didn't say that was the case. I said
I'll tell you why.
I didn't say ultimately that was the case. I said, look, that could be on the table. Stranger things have happened.
Well, yeah, it could be
I never said definite. There was no infinite stuff.
But I disagree with why.
Yeah, sure.
Even though you say that it could be on the table, I have to flat out disagree with that. And the reason being is I reckon every big wig, every big studio, when it comes to their big heavyweight names, they're gonna give them a free pass on this whole pandemic thing. But remember, it's not like Tenet came out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Where we're like, okay, no, you can't use the pandemic as your excuse because everything's opened back up and people have had vaccinations and people have done this. You're like, that came out in 2020. It came out in the slap bag middle of it, right? When I went to Tenet, there was 7 people in the screen. Right? I reckon there's no studio, especially Warner Brothers, especially with the rate that they, for lack of a better term, for the rate that they fuck up movies, there is no way that they are going to be like, wow, That's on you, Chris. You
Yeah,
kinda owe
I mean,
us.
look, I mean, it's made his money. It made his money
Yeah,
back.
that's literally what I've been trying to say for the past 20 minutes.
It has a 200 million budget. It made over 350 million in the middle of a pandemic. I could not class this as a flop. I know it hasn't made.
So what was it? What was its marketing budget?
I can tell you that. Probably 50 million.
Let's have a look.
It's probably 50 million.
But even if it was 100 million, it still made his money back. So it's not a loss for Warner Brothers.
Well,
So-
that's a loss for them because it broke even. That's not a success.
Black Widow didn't do that.
Yeah, but
I know
how many
Black Widow,
films
that's a
break even?
totally different.
But that's the thing.
We'll get to that, Joe. We'll get to
but
that.
Sash, every
But you
company
think how many
would have
films that
revised
make
their
200 million?
every company
No,
would
sorry,
have
right, how
revised
many
their
films
budgets
that cost
based on the.
150 million? Sorry, Ken, please go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say every
200 mil.
Oh, God.
200 mil.
Okay.
That's a flop.
Okay, Ken, you say something?
I was just going to say that every studio would have re-budgeted their forecasting for the movies that were coming out. Okay, they used this movie as a test point at the time in the market to see if people were going to go back to the cinema. Because people weren't ready to go back to the cinema, everything else after that got pushed back. So Warners were happy enough to use this as a test point. Yeah. So even if it's cost them a few million, it saved them in the long run by not releasing the other movies when they were due to be released and, following suit and stuff like that. It's done it for the whole industry. So, I can't look at Tenet and say it's a flop because it was generally well received critically. It did bring people back into the cinema, but ultimately the pandemic was the overriding factor. And so as a studio boss, Nolan's not going to be like, if anybody says to Nolan that's a flop, he'll say fuck you.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
And if Warners want to play that game,
He'd probably say that if it came.
Yeah.
He'd have said that if it come out in peace times.
Yeah.
he'll just say, he'll go anywhere else and people will pay him the money. Disney will be like, please, here, take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see it as a flop.
Yeah.
It's not. It's the worst performing movie in terms of box office.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't consider it a flop because of the conditions. You have to take the conditions into account when you're talking about a movie being a flop or not, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that's fine. I don't. By the way, guys, I'm not disagreeing with your opinions. My whole thing was like these are the variables that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Which one do you guys think it's going to be? Because I don't know. I don't know which one it's going to be.
If I knew that, I'd play the lottery tomorrow.
I think my case is I think cooler heads will prevail at Warner's. They have to. You know what I mean? Like that they have to, man.
Yeah.
I want that Warner Brothers box set, man.
them.
But just aside, I thought Tenet was okay. I didn't think it was anything special. I actually think it's his worst movie, personally.
And he's. I know what he means by that in terms of Christopher Nolan standard. That's his worst movie. But if it was anyone else that did that movie, it'd be fucking amazing. In terms of like, wow, this guy made this.
What do you guys think Nolan's worst movie is? Like everyone.
Interstellar.
Yeah, Interstellar.
No, see, I prefer that to this.
Really?
I thought visually Tenet was good, but I just don't think the story worked at all.
For me, it's going to be mine's controversial. Dark Knight Rises.
Whatever.
I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a great movie. But
I still enjoyed it more than Tenet.
I don't think it's his best movie. I really enjoyed Tenet, but you know what? When everyone told me there was a sound problem, I made sure I wore my headphones when I heard it, and I had no problem following it. So
no, they changed the sound mix by then. They changed the sound mix by then. Yeah. Even on the Blu-ray, the sound mix is different.
Okay.
See, that's the thing, right? I'm sorry, but like for me, it's Interstellar, and I'll tell you why. Because if I wasn't a Batman fan, if I didn't know anything about comic books and wasn't a Batman fan, I would have probably loved Dark Knight Rises. I would have thought it was a chef's kiss movie. Because of what I know, I'm like, nah. You did my man dirty. You did my boy dirty. Interstellar, I knew nothing about it. There was no kind of pre-existing knowledge, so I sat there and watched it. And at the end of the film, I was like, You disrespected my time.
That's a really long film as well.
No, that was supposed to be a Steven Spielberg film originally.
I could see that. It's got a similar shades of Spielberg.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. We'll move on. We'll move on. That Nolan one's going to be a showpiece. Okay. On to into some interesting news, and that's Blade and versus Underworld movie script. A movie that was scrapped by Marvel. What do you make of that? Would you want to? Do you think these two worlds could? I would watch it as well. I like Kate Beckinsale and I like Wesley. If it was these the two actors portraying these characters, I think.
Not Sticky Fingers, yeah.
No, not him. He that guy's not Blade. He's just not Blade. Fuck that guy. Sticky Fingers. Whoever thought that up was a fucking idiot. Anyway, Kate Beckinsale and Wesley Snipes. I think. Because there's people have been watching Blade on YouTube. The reaction guys, they've been watching Blade, and that opening scene, it's flawless. It's fucking flawless.
Still holds up, man.
It's so good, and there's no character in the Marvel universe apart from maybe Captain America that has had that kind of opening, introduction. It's Daywalker, and then have an explosive action scene. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to kiss Blade's ass too much.
Yeah.
But in terms of merging the worlds together, that'd be really interesting to see. What do you guys think?
Kiss Blade's ass all day, right? Blade 1 was phenomenal. That is, I don't give a damn what anybody else says. Blade 1 is the reason we have the MCU. Right?
Yeah, I think that's technically true. Yeah.
It's like every comic book movie that you love. Oh, Lord have mercy.
I mean, they went into production at the same time. One was a hit, one was a flop. I mean...
Right? But no, because the thing is, that movie was just... It is, to this day, there's two moments of Blade that stand out for me. One, for just the pure iconic... Like, I mentioned earlier about Blade Runner, the opening being iconic. That bloodbath scene is... completely iconic for like 10 different reasons, right? And what happens after it is the drag out brawl where you're just like, oh my gosh, wow, like I'm gonna say it's like the Raid. It's like what you feel watching the Raid, right? And the other reason is at the end of the movie, right before he kills the big bad Deacon Frost, when he says that line, which, good God, whoever wrote that line,
he probably wrote it.
Like David S. Goya, I don't know if that was you or if that was Wesley Snipes ad-libbing, but that line, some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate up a hill. Ooh, baby! I'll tell you that I'm going to use that line on my children one day.
Just before you slap them, some motherfuckers always like skating up hill. Pow!
But the thing is, I think especially if you look at Blade 1 and Blade 2, just the cinematography, the kind of color palettes, the things of that. If you look at those two films...
Second was Guillermo, right? Guillermo del Toro.
Underworld. Yeah, second one's Guillermo. If you look at the first... I'd say the first two Underworld films, they do line up quite well, right? So I could see how they would work. I could see them working... as crazy as it is to sound, I could see them working quite well together.
Yeah. It's not that crazy. I don't think it's too far-fetched.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you look at Blade 1 and Underworld 1, if you look at those two films, like if you watch them back to back, you could be like, you know what, they could possibly happen in the same world. Yeah,
definitely. Ken, what do you think?
I mean, I've only seen the first Underworld. It's not a franchise I've been particularly interested in. I think if it happened after Blade 3, yes, it's something that would have worked. It's not something that would have worked in the last 10 years. It wasn't going to happen. So, Underworld is owned by Sony. So obviously there is a relationship between Marvel and Sony. So, there is a possibility that could have happened. But I think Marvel are just very protective over their properties, and I just don't believe they would cross anything over.
Yeah, especially not now. Yeah.
So, it's definitely not going to happen now. No, this would be before Iron Man.
Yeah,
if everything happened, it would have had to be before then. Anything after that, not a chance.
Yeah, definitely. Satch, what do you make of? Well,
yeah, it was Kate Beckinsale that was talking about this. She was saying she and her husband, because she's married to the guy that created Underworld, isn't it?
Was.
Oh, the director.
Was. Okay, that's probably why they don't make him anymore. So, but yeah,
she's single now.
I thought she is.
No, she was going out with that guy from SNL for a couple of years ago. I forgot his name. The guy with the tattoos, or had the tattoos. I forgot his name.
But yeah,
she was going out with him, and now she's single.
But point being is, that's obviously a conversation they probably would have had back in the early 2000s and stuff when Underworld was a thing. Me personally, I was never an Underworld fan. Like, I watched that first movie and I was just like, yeah, allow it. Yeah, not really. But it's better than Twilight for vampires, I guess. But it just
that would have been
thing.
a crossover I'd like to see.
Yeah, I think Underworld needed Blade. Blade didn't need no Underworld, even with Blade Trinity and everything. Like Blade didn't need no crossover back then. So, yeah.
Oh God, there's 5 of them.
But I think, you know what though? I think this is a classic Sony move. Because, it wasn't that long ago we remember hearing that they wanted to cross Men in Black with 21 Jump Street. So,
it's true.
It's like Sony do have this habit of wanting to cross over. Like they don't want to make a cinematic universe. They just want to grab 2 properties that they own and smash them together and just be like, does it work?
Yeah, all that craziness was under Amy Pascal when she was the head of the studio. Now she's not anymore. She just owns, the Spider-Man rights. So, yeah, she's no longer the head. So
yeah, she divorced her husband in 2017.
There you go, Nick. There you go, guys.
You gotta shoot your shot, Joe.
Sorry. Well,
you gotta go shoot your shot, bro. You gotta go shoot your shot.
Hey man, she's hot property. I wouldn't say no to her. Sorry. I'll break into your conversation. What were you saying?
No, I finished, man.
Okay, well, we'll move on to, because there's another crossover coming now, and that's Star Wars and Marvel. I think that's a uniquely bad idea for many reasons. Yeah. Should I go into the reasons why that's bad? Should I?
Marvel.
You know what?
Okay, so let me explain. Okay, so on Collider, on one of their interviews, that you've got is it Marvel What If?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the What If shows going on and stuff. So the showrunners of What If, Bryan Andrews and AC Bradley. AC Bradley, she was saying. They were asked what other kind of crossovers did we not get, or what can we expect? And she was saying, she was really gunning to try and get like a Marvel Star Wars crossover. And it was like, what? And she's like, no, there were conversations had and it was shut down. The response they were given was, no, we're just going to stick to our own playbox right now. But who knows in the future, because the idea of the IP is what if. And she was like,
Guardians of the Galaxy of far, far away.
Yeah, and when she said that, 1,000 voices cried out in terror and was suddenly silenced because they don't.
When studio heads change place, it can happen. 10, 15, 20 years from now, it can happen easily.
I'm going to say this. It can happen. It can happen over my dead body. If it happens in my lifetime, I swear to God, I will have a whole podcast on me ranting.
It will happen. It will happen.
Right? And I'll be blunt. I don't believe it will happen unless the MCU finds itself in a position that Star Wars is currently in.
Yeah.
A big, strong amount of what could technically be considered flops, right? Or things that are negatively received, regardless of the amount of money they make. If you have a big bunch of things negatively received on the account of Marvel. Because right now, look, you know, Marvel's batting over 1,000, right? Like Marvel have not missed a penalty yet, right? So it'd be very difficult for them to just be like, okay, yeah, we'll do it. That I'm to me personally, right? A crossover with something that's not your franchise or that's not connected to you is a move of it's either a move of creative genius or desperation, and it's usually more desperation than creative genius. Now, I say that with full knowledge that there is a Marvel Star Trek comic, and that there are, you know, things like there's DC Planet of the Apes comics. There are, you know, like there are crossovers that have taken place.
Batman and Scooby Doo.
Right now, currently, there's like
No,
you can have
Jesus.
whatever.
you know, yeah, there's been Batman. Like, I look at this, right? The Aliens and Predators have faced off against Superman, Batman, and you know, X-Men and like that, right?
I'm going to say something though. Batman versus Predator. Batman versus Predator was pretty good.
That was dope.
That was dope.
Yeah,
Both of them.
right?
Well, the first two. I don't know whether there was a third one, but those two comics were pretty dope, man. They were pretty good. But anyway.
Yeah. But the thing is, even with that, it was like, so there is a kind of precedent for these things to happen. However, the strength of the MCU right now is literally, it's the king of the mountain. It sits alone. It needs no one else. It has conquered film. It has conquered TV. Is conquering streaming, right? It is sitting pretty, and it needs no one or nothing. That said, like Ken said, sometimes, you know, when the stuff at the top changes, you know, shit starts falling in different directions.
And that's literally what's happening. Do you know what? I'm going to move this right forward on because
but you know we've already had Marvel Star Wars crossover in the comics.
Oh yeah. But that's the comics, man.
Yeah.
No one,
So why can't you do it as an animated series?
I think you can do. I think you could do it, you know, as an animated
Because
series.
what they're saying, the what if is canon.
You could,
right? So I don't think you'd be under the what if banner because that's canon. Yeah, because they're saying that's MCU canon now, right?
Yeah.
But they could do it as a separate thing.
Yeah, as a separate thing.
Totally.
That's fine if it.
So they wouldn't make Star Wars canon. They would never do that. But I'm saying they could do it because you've had crossovers aplenty.
Oh yeah. In the comics and stuff, that's, you know, that's other media and stuff. You know, it doesn't mean anything. I wouldn't want to see it as a film or like, you know what I mean?
They'll test the waters of animation first.
Yeah.
Well, again, moving on to the next subject, which is Scarlett Johansson suing Disney. We can talk about the hierarchies of Disney and Marvel, and from what I can see with this subject is that something was in her contract. I think Disney have gone the wrong way about it by trying to gaslight how much she was getting, because look how much she's getting for this. And she should be ashamed of herself for asking for what was in her contract. How dare she? And the way I see it, she's just, look, this was in my contract. Now everyone's coming out of the woodwork now, and it's like, hey man, this streaming thing wasn't what I signed up for. Pay me my money. And if it's in the contract, I can't. I don't really know what else to say. All these guys are trying to save face.
Written in the contract. At the end of the day, if the contract is you get a percentage of the box office performance, unless there's something that in the contract that says this is exclusive to theaters, or you know Disney, Marvel have the rights to distribute this however they see fit, then you've got nothing to stand on. So you know it all depends on what's in the contract. So I understand her from a point of view saying, if her contract said this was a theater release and therefore all money's made by this, I should earn a percentage, because again she was a producer on it, so there would be earnings related to that, not necessarily just from an acting point of view. If she wasn't a producer in this, it probably wouldn't be a thing. But it's if it's performance based on theater stuff, they cannot say this movie would have made X amount of money. Yeah, there isn't a precedent necessarily. They can say this would have made this kind of money, because it's an IP of a character who's dead in the movies as a prequel. So that's untested. There's loads of different factors that you can throw into this in terms of what she thinks she's entitled to. So all it boils down to is the contract. If her contract said this was a theater exclusive release and they've changed that, then she has every right to say, well, I believe I would have earned more and I should be compensated accordingly based on some estimates of what they thought when they were doing the budgets. Otherwise, there's nothing to stand on.
I think what she's doing, because Disney decided to cannibalize it by putting it on day and release of the cinema release, and so that they could. I mean, again, I asked my friend how he watched it. Yeah, as soon as it came on, he copied it, and they literally cannibalized themselves by doing that.
Here's the thing, right? Yeah, sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
Here's the thing. Her, from the things that have been released, her suing them, she is absolutely in her rights to do it, because her credit, the way the contracts were broken down, from the tidbits of information that I've received, are that in her contract, and this goes into most contracts, not just with Disney, with most studios, when a talent becomes a producer, how the things work out is like, okay, if your film makes this amount of money, you get this amount of profit, or you get this amount of bonuses. Because of the fact that that was like a standard thing to go into major star contracts. So people like, your Tom Cruise has it, your Julia Roberts has it, those heavyweights, right? Now, because of the fact that they put her film, they put it like, it was like a 2-day gap between it coming out in cinemas and it coming out on streaming. So what that did, because it's just 2 days, that literally means that even if you say the first week, you're not getting your first full 7 days release, right? And because, don't forget, the film was finished and ready to rock and roll before the pandemic hit. Right, that film was scheduled just to be released in cinemas, so there was nothing in there about streaming services, because all of that was the intention of that was, this is just what's going to come after you've had your cinematic run. If Black Widow had a full cinematic run, then yes, we can debate all day about whether it would have or wouldn't have made money. It would have made its money because it's an MCU film, right? That's not to say it's going to double its budget or anything of that, but she would have, what was in her contract to make, she would have got that money. The fact that it came out on Disney Plus, it literally decapitated her.
Yeah,
her
but if
profits,
Disney have got the rights to distribute the film as they see fit, then she can't complain.
Well, here's
so again, I haven't seen the contracts. I haven't seen anything distributed from the contracts. But in any contract, okay, like even my wedding contract, any act of God or any government instruction, any government, you're not covered.
But you can't call. But here's the thing, right? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here's the thing. Even in that, what you say about the whole like acts of God and everything, if it was in the cinema for a week and then the pandemic shut everything down, she wouldn't have a leg to stand on.
But it doesn't matter. Unless it's in her contract, there's a theatre-only release, she can't complain.
Well, I think that's the point, isn't it? That's what the report is in the first place, that it's supposed to be a theatre release. And the other thing is...
hang on a sec. Hang on,
wait, hold on, dude. The other thing is, the other big issue is, that's why a lot of other actors are getting on the bandwagon here, because a similar thing happened with HBO Max and Warner's with Wonder Woman and a couple of other
but they spoke
to the talent and they paid them and they paid them their estimate of what they were owed. That was one of the first things they did with Wonder Woman 84. Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot, they walked away with predicted earnings and stuff. None of that was done with Scarlett Johansson or any of the Disney talent, which is why more people are coming forward, because they looked at what was going on at HBO Max and hey, people getting paid. So there seems to be a miscommunication at Disney, quite clearly.
Bob Chapek.
You're right.
you are right, Ken. We personally don't know what's in those contracts, but at the same time, as long as people are piping on about this in the media, we'll probably find out a lot sooner than later. It has come out officially that Bob Iger and Kevin Feige are very upset with Bob Chapek, the head of Disney, for the mismanagement of this, because it's something Iger definitely wouldn't have done, because his whole big thing is
keep the talent happy.
Keep the talent happy, make sure we have these relationships and stuff. And that goes into a bigger point of what Bob Chapek has done at Disney, which is taking creative control away from the creatives and putting in middle management in, which unfortunately means Marvel as well. Which has been going on for the past year or so. So how that affects the MCU later on, we won't see that effect for at least another 5 years. So we've got 5 more years of great MCU stuff. But quite frankly, Feige's pissed about the situation, because obviously that went behind his back. And
if he leaves, it's over.
If you piss off Feige, do you think he's going to stick around at Marvel if he can't get his way with how he runs shit? I don't know. We'll have to see on that. But in terms of the Scarlett Johansson thing, Ken's got a point. We don't know what's in the contract, but that's a to be continued kind of sign. But we'll see, man.
All you need now is The Rock to go like, yeah, where's my money?
Yeah, if Dwayne The Rock Johnson peps up, then there's something.
No, he's not saying anything, because he's been boosting this movie all over the place. He's really proud of it. He isn't in it for the money in the same way. The reason why Scarlett Johansson is going after this is because this is the last ride for her and her character. Okay, she's got nothing to lose now in terms of that character. So the way that I see it, let me finish.
Yep, sure.
Yeah. So the way that I see it is, HBO, if they've paid their talent, that's their choice and their decision. Okay, you can't be upset that your company hasn't done something. You can be upset. You can't sue your company for not doing something somebody else has done. At the end of the day, every single company during this pandemic has had to make adjustments. They're hemorrhaging money. Warner's haven't got all the theme parks that Disney have when they get all their revenue coming through. Okay, so they got the studio tours, but Disney have got those huge theme parks, all the revenue there to close down. There's a lot of money that Disney have lost in the last year and a half. Okay, yet they're still pumping so much money into content in terms of Disney Plus and Star Wars and these shows that we're getting, like Mandalorian and stuff like that. If they're taking a decision to say, actually, we're just going to go by the terms of the contract, and if your movie hasn't made this much, we're not going to pay you that bonus. They're well within their right to do that if it's within their contract. Talent might not like it, and they might not keep them happy, but they might be looking and saying, well, Scarlett's had her run. We won't be using her in the MCU again. So if she, we're not going to pay her. And actually, if it all depends on the contract terms, we can't be saying, oh, they should definitely pay. Why should they pay her? If they're paying her as long as in the terms of her contract, that's it. If she's suing him because she feels that she should have been paid more, then no. But if she's suing based on the fact that terms of her contract have been breached, then I understand that. However, I think the Disney legal team would have been very savvy about going through those legal documents before any decisions would have been made to say, we're not going to pay her X amount, as opposed to...
See, here's the thing.
A breach of contract. It would be very stupid. Now, if they've done it, they're stupid. But if Disney have been that stupid that the legal teams that they have on retainer haven't checked that fact before they've made that decision, then they deserve to be sued. But it all depends on the terms. So we have to wait and see what the contracts say. But I don't think she has a right. Look how many people have lost their jobs. Look how many people haven't been paid because they've been put on furlough. 75% of their wages or whatever it is. Some companies couldn't top it up. Yeah? I understand you're unhappy because you didn't think what you were going to get. But if you didn't get what you think you were going to get as opposed to what you're truthfully earned via your contract, two different things.
Go on, Neil.
I agree. I definitely agree that, contracts being contracts, you got to go by what is written there, whether it's the big print, whether it's the small print. What the contract says is what the contract says. You got to deal with that the way it is. However, streaming in regards to massive big time movies, Disney, Warner Brothers, and then that content immediately becoming available streaming wise that, or rather, to be blunt, the day and date releases, that is a new thing. That was absolutely. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say I'm 98% sure that is not in her contract, because when they made that film, they had no intention of that going day and day release.
I don't understand your confidence.
Right? No, I'll tell you why. Because I personally have looked at film contracts, right? And when they talk about stuff, they literally say box office. When they say box office, they ain't talking about what happens when it goes on DVD, what happens when it comes out on terrestrial TV or anything like that. They are solely talking about the run from when this film is released, day one in the cinema, to when this movie is pulled from the cinema, usually 3 months later, right? That is like the basic level of contract that goes through almost every film company definitely in America, in Hollywood, that runs through all
45-day window, yeah. 45-day window.
That runs through them. All of them do that. So with the whole thing of streaming, the streaming is still essentially a very new thing to the model of, we're going to make something for the purpose of putting it on streaming services, Netflix, HBO Max, whatever, right? That definitely was not in her contract before when they made that film. That's why she's...
You're saying definitely,
right.
You don't know.
No, you're right. You're right that if they're going by the contract, can't be doing nothing. But you have to remember, if they're going by the contract, how is Emma Stone suing Disney?
Mm-hmm.
No, the rumors are she's contemplating suing.
Right.
She hasn't. There's no reports to say she has gone it. All these reports saying, "Oh, this person's thinking about it now. Right. This person's thinking about it now." There's no facts on anything.
Right? Yeah, but here's the thing as well, and this is the core thing you have to remember. You said it right. You said that Disney's legal team, their people they got on retainer, needed to sit down and go through that contract, right? Do you think Scarlett Johansson's people didn't do the same thing? To go to the point, because it's, as you say, it's one thing to be thinking about doing something. It's another thing to put pen to paper and stand up and say, yep, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and say, you are in breach of contract. It's another thing to do that.
That could be based on pure wording.
And
I see what you mean, Ken.
Disney, right? And Disney's response, the people, the spokesperson from Disney, because this is whoever opened their mouth and said these words, to come out and kind of gaslight her.
Yeah, that was a really bad thing to do.
How dare you do this? Because all the people who are passing away, and all the people who have lost their jobs, all the people who are struggling and suffering, right? What you're doing is you're deflecting away, and when you start deflecting.
And do you know the reason why I think they've done that is because there isn't a breach of contract. I said, and the reason why I think they've said that is because there isn't an actual breach of contract. The reason why they've said that is because she believes that something in her contract she feels she is entitled to, as opposed to the definitive wording. So she is saying, I believe that I feel that I should have got this because X, Y, and Z. They're going to be a case of, well, no. Right. So, look, Disney Plus was announced in 2018. Okay, contracts would have been adjusted for anything involving streaming, even into just a line to say Disney owns rights to distribute as see fit, whatever it is. I think it's a bit silly to say I know for a fact it's not in that contract. Okay, because
no, I didn't say I know for a fact. I said I'm 98% sure.
Well, you said a couple of times I know for a fact it wasn't in there. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, So we don't know that for a fact, but I believe she is. Any kind of suing of a breach of contract is you believe the terms of your contracts haven't been met. It doesn't necessarily mean that there has been an actual breach. It's your interpretation of the contract is what you believe is to be breached. So that's why it's still ambiguous. Yeah, that's why there's no definitive thing to say something was in her contract or not in her contract. She believes that the wording in her contract gives an opportunity for her to say you haven't done something. Disney obviously felt the other way. So therefore it's going to take a third party to read that contract and say, as an independent, me reading this, my understanding of it is this, and I'll roll in this decision all this way.
Okay.
That is basically how I see it, because I've gone through enough contract negotiations with lawyers and companies which I've had to fight with, because I've said you've breached your contract, they said no, and we've had to go to solicitors because it's my way that they've interpreted. So like, they haven't delivered their service, they believe they've delivered their service. It's just a matter of fact of your opinion, the way you look at it. So we can't say anything is a matter of fact, but it will come out in the wash.
So Ken, I think one of the biggest issues of this whole situation is that what Disney's representatives, they said what she earned, and
right.
I think that was a bit of a mistake in terms of, hey man, you're getting 20 million for this. You earn a lot of money. You should be ashamed of yourself. If they mentioned the pandemic and everything else, fine, but they put in an open statement so everyone could see how much she was getting. I think they didn't. No one. I don't think any other company has done that. Even the whole Gal Gadot thing didn't, and they didn't do that. And I think that was it's a bit undermining, and I think it's just made everything worse. I think they could.
No, that's been poorly handled. Absolutely.
They could have come to the table.
Respect to that.
But typically, she earned like 10 million a movie, so she doubled it with that one.
Sure.
But you know what? You know what's a big disrespect of that though, is they were like, you earned 20 million and you're complaining. I like, how much does Robert Downey Jr. get?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but no one turned around and said Robert Downey.
Yeah, I see where Ken's going with this.
Jr. is the face of the MCU. Robert Downey Jr. is one of the strongest reasons why there is an MCU. But the point is, like, we do have to remember this is the same company that had to have a standoff with Robert Downey Jr. because the other Avengers weren't getting paid what he was getting paid. And by the fact that she got 20 million for a movie, they still weren't getting paid what she was getting paid.
Yeah, different management, and it was handled better. I think it was handled a lot better in the past. I still think that was a little bit underhanded. Disney's representatives handled it badly. They could have that one statement just set fire to everything, and that they could have come back around. Everyone could have been happy. No one else would have been the wiser, and I think it would have been handled. Go on.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this is settled out of court.
Yeah, it will.
I mean, it will. Yeah, for sure. It won't go to court.
Yeah, I mean, they don't want to lose Kevin Feige. They don't want to piss off the old CEO.
He's chairman of the board, isn't he? So,
yeah, he is. Yeah. You don't want to piss him off. So it is. I think this, as I think John Campion. No. Robert Barnett said it. It'll probably be settled out of court. No one wants to rock the boat. And yeah. Anyway,
you don't want real figures being put out.
Yeah. Okay. Moving on from that debate to a lighter affair.
Wow, it got kind of got heated there, man. What the fuck?
That's what
I get passionate about contractual law. That's why.
Oh wow. Okay. I didn't know that was your thing, man.
I studied law, so it's it's a passion because and being obviously a recruiter, an employer, having to deal with loads of employee contracts and disputes and HR issues, I'm very much about what's written on the page, so that's why contracts are really important. So when people spout things to make claims, it's just what's written down, what's written down. So we need to know the facts. So
yeah.
Well, the only tiny little thing I will say on that is that when I said about seeing the many contracts, most of them always classify the word that comes out is box office returns or box office receipts.
Mm-hmm.
So when she's like, "Oh, you're in breach of contract," her definition of that is the box office is literally the cinema.
And the studio will say box office is income from the movie, from box office and streaming services, because we have that platform available. So when they're taking into total earnings of a movie, they include that. That'll be their argument. So
yeah.
She's lucky it just wasn't just released on Disney Plus. Then she would have made nothing.
And their argument would be is we put it on a Premier Access, so it was still chargeable. We didn't put it for free. So,
well, talk about cannibalizing your film, man. Fucking hell. Anyway,
if it was a fantastic movie, I'd probably support it more, but it was only average. So, I'm like, actually, should you get some more money? Because, it wasn't that great, So
Ken went straight to, look, I saw Black Widow. You got 20 million. That was enough.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's like, you did fine. It's fine. You got paid enough for what you produced. It's fine.
Okay, finally getting Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe's making a film. Okay, Russell Crowe's making this film called Poker Face.
Poker Face.
Never heard of it. Satch, you know more about this than I do. You tell me about it.
Okay, so literally it's set in a world of high-stakes poker players. He plays an international financer. No, he's a tech billionaire. Okay, that gets caught in a risky card game, and it stars Liam Neeson, Thor's wife, I've forgotten her name, Elsa Patsky, I don't know, and the RZA.
Jesus, that guy just randomly shows up everywhere.
Just randomly showed up.
That's the Black Friend.
Brought in his Iron Fist co-star, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. I don't look. Russell Crowe. I don't like him. Don't hate him.
He's directing it though.
I know.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I
he's
was wondering if he's directing it.
Don't hate him. Don't like him. I have nothing to say about this, to be honest.
Has he directed before? He did that like horse water film, right?
I see it was good then.
He's done a couple of short films and documentaries. The Water Divider.
There we go, the Water Divider. Why have I got a picture of a horse in my head? Maybe it was on the trailer, but yeah.
Well, good luck to him. Another.
What I would say for Russell Crowe is he's an actor who I would have gone and see a movie for. Yeah, at a point. Yeah. He started building a fantastic catalog. LA Confidential, The Insider, Gladiator, A Beautiful Mind, Cinderella Man, American Gangster. And it just he was that kind of caliber actor. You'd go see a film for him.
Don't forget Robin Hood.
And then I think probably from from Man of Steel onwards, it's just dropped off.
He just doesn't give a shit anymore.
No, I mean he did Nice Guys, which was fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good film. Yeah,
but yeah, to me, just I don't know if he just doesn't care anymore, or I just don't know. I don't know what it is anymore. But I just don't get the same vibe as I used to.
You reckon he's turning into Bruce Willis?
Yeah, he's kind of getting on that verge, maybe, if he's not careful. I mean, I watched Unhinged, and he was really weird in that. That's quite a strange movie.
I thought he was really good in that.
Yeah, it was. And it was so strange to see him in that vein. Look, he's in Thor: Love and Thunder. We'll see what he's like in that. So, I feel disappointed that he was like this Oscar caliber actor, and then we haven't really seen him do anything of that kind of standard for quite a while. So,
yeah. Good luck.
What was Noah like?
Noah's good. It's serviceable.
It's forgettable.
Shit, crazy. Bro.
Yeah, I never saw that.
My mum liked it.
This was not the Noah's. It doesn't rap. This was not the Noah's Ark that you was told about in school.
I mean, realistically, since Man of Steel, he's done Winter's Tale. Never seen that. Noah, never saw that. They were both in the same year.
I'm so trying to move on from this, but you won't let me.
Water Divider. No, I'm intrigued now because he's he's done fuck all. And like that, yeah, Ken's kind of right. The only thing I see really, but he's done like 5 movies, and the only thing
that stands out is the Nice Guys.
Nice Guys.
Yeah.
All right. The Mummy, that was dog shit.
I forgot about that. Oh my god. Jesus.
To be fair though, he's not in DVD bargain bin just yet, man. He's still got some, No,
I say he's not there, but if he's not careful, he could head that way.
Yeah, in 7 films, to be granted, I haven't seen half these films, so I can't really say.
But doesn't that say something about the actor? You're not drawn to see those movies like you were previously. That's my point. He doesn't capture you in the way that he did in the early 2000s. And so,
well, I say that about The Rock.
That's different.
I think they're 2 different things. I don't think you can compare it. But I guess you're right. Meh.
Okay, J.K. Simmons. I'm moving on because I don't want to talk about Russell Crowe anymore. J.K. Simmons is back as Commissioner Gordon in Batgirl. What do you? I see. There's a big thumbs up from Neil there.
Are we flipping this camera upside down?
Yeah. So you like this news, Neil? I might as well just start off with you, Neil. Go for it.
No, straight. Listen, right? I love J.K. Simmons. He's a brilliant actor. One of the finest actors knocking about right now. However, if I'm supposed to believe that is it Leslie Grace, if I'm supposed to believe that she is his daughter at his age playing Commissioner Gordon, if I'm supposed to believe that she is his child, I'm out. I'm out. I've done nothing right. I'm already annoyed at the fact that they cast her to be Barbara Gordon.
Is she playing Barbara Gordon though?
Yes, she is cast as Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
She's cast as Batgirl, but she cast as Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
Yeah. I mean, you think she would have to be, right?
It's Warner's, bro.
Yes,
she could be Kate Kane.
No, she is Barbara Gordon Batgirl.
Have they said that? I've not been following this. I've not been following this film at all.
When I saw the news pop up and it said she was cast in Batgirl, I was like, okay, cool. And then I read the article and she's been cast as Barbara Gordon, aka Batgirl.
So, A.K. Simmons maybe married a black girl?
Nah, it's not. Bro, listen, it's not that. Again, I was annoyed that she's Barbara Gordon because I've well documented my thing about the whole kind of race switching or gender switching with characters, right?
Yeah.
That is already annoying enough. I know J.K. Simmons is a man who's got game, but to have a daughter who's what in your 20s, right? Bro, you must have been pulling some strings back in the day.
Hey man, in Invincible, he's got a Korean wife.
No, I'm sorry. If he, he's hang on. She's 26. The actress is 26. He's 66.
Playing 26.
Sorry.
Is she going to be playing 26?
It doesn't matter. He would have had her at between 40 and 45. What's wrong with that?
Right.
A lot apparently.
I'm 40.
Yeah.
Right. I want kids.
Well, more so.
My mum had me at 40. My mum had me at 40.
Yeah, exactly. So what? That age thing is that no to that point.
By having him play Gordon again.
Ken's on fire today, man. I'm gonna say this.
Flame boy.
Ken's not taking any bullshit today, bro. This is the best podcast.
Hang on, I can't hear you. Hang on, sorry.
By having J.K. Simmons reprise his role as Commissioner James Gordon in this Batgirl, what you're saying is you're continuing the Snyderverse.
No, you're not. It's multiverse.
Multiverse, my back foot.
Oh, come! At this point, who knows what the fuck is going on?
They can use whoever they want in anything. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore.
It really doesn't, man.
I'm done.
Do you know how many Jokers there are in this?
They had Michael
universe?
Keaton's Batman in the Flash CW network. In terms of referencing that, it's all multiverse. It doesn't make a difference. It's the same commish. It's a different Gotham. Doesn't matter. It's the same as using. It's the same as using Q in Bond. No, it's the same as using the same actress in James Bond for Pierce Brosnan and then Daniel Craig. Same thing. No one cares. No one said, "Oh no, you can't use her."
It's so convoluted now. It doesn't matter. It really.
Basically,
I'm out. I'm out. DC shit. I'm out. Warner Brothers has fucked up my DC shit, and I'm out.
Mate, Joe's been preaching since day one, bro.
Yeah, after I saw done. How many Jokers are there? How many fucking Jokers are since?
I'm not saying I like the DC universe.
I'm just making the point. Since Christopher Nolan's introduced that Joker, let's count the Jokers that are around now.
True.
Live action.
No, all of them, including the ones on TV,
including animated.
Because this whole world is convoluted. You got the TV.
Because if I say if you're talking live action, there's 3.
Okay, is 3 enough? Or was it too much?
Well, 3 would be too much if not for the fact that we've clearly differentiated them. Each one of them dealing with a different Batman. Each one of them is dealing with a different Gotham City. So when we say multiverse, at least we're like, that's clearly a different world. That's clearly a different world. This is clearly a different world. Whereas, like, their films, Warner Brothers just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And you know what? I stand by what I said. Anytime Warner Brothers gets their hands on a property that they didn't create, or even that they did create, right? They fuck it. They got their hands on it when they bought New Line Cinema. They got their hands on Lord of the Rings, and they fucked it up when they made The Hobbit. They've had DC for generations. They've had DC comics longer than I've been alive.
They did alright with Harry Potter.
Yeah, I guess Harry Potter's the only consistent universe.
Because they fucked it up as soon as they got to freaking the Fantastic Beasts, right? As soon as they got to Fantastic Beasts, they pulled out their dick and they were like, "We're gonna John Peters this shit, bend over."
Shit.
Right? People, I haven't seen any of those movies. I've only seen like the first 3 Harry Potter movies, but everyone loves those movies. So I'm only going on the feedback of people saying they tend to love those movies.
I'm not into Harry Potter, but you know what? Fantastic Beasts 1 was good, man. I like that movie. It was a good fantasy film, man.
But anyway, Batgirl, HBO Max is set in the DC extended universe. Point made.
This is what I mean, Ken. It's a roll of the dice. So what should we do now?
Absolutely. It's just that's what I've said. We said it on the podcast with DC. Just they're going to give us content and they're going to make it whatever they want it to be. Yeah. So I'll take it and I'll judge each show by its merit. I liked Green Arrow to start with, then it got crap. I liked Flash to start with, now it's awful. You know,
what the fuck happened to Flash?
They've given us. Oh mate, if you see the CGI they're using now, it's ridiculous.
Lightsabers.
They've got lightsabers, and you know the running stuff. It is so bad. Green screen. It's not even funny anymore, man. It's just go check out scenes of the latest series of Flash. It's
I'm not going to.
But then they give you Superman and Lois, which is absolutely fantastic, right? You know, they give you Man of Steel, but then they give you a Wonder Woman 84. You're gonna get hit and misses with Warners. We understand that, and as long as you accept that, but then you get something like the Suicide Squad, which I thought was fucking amazing. Right, so I know from DC they're just going to keep throwing content out there. I'll have to wait and see what it is. Let's see what the Green Lantern looks like. Let's see what Flash looks like. You know, getting Michael Keaton come back. Just they're going to give us content. Let's just see it on his merits.
Don't do it, Neil. Don't do it, Neil.
There's no Snyderverse anymore. We have to accept that.
When you say don't do it, Joe, I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna say that.
I saw you.
Right? All I said, look, it's a good movie. But I am not on the hype train.
Right.
That's it.
Right. I got you.
It's a good movie, but I'm not on the hype train.
I'm on the train and going around in circles. So.
Nah. It was Guardians 1 good.
Funny enough, I just got a text.
If you said it's Guardians 1 good, and you're saying it's
but I don't think Guardians 1 is top tier. It's good. It's Guardians 1.
I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah, kids are about to walk off set.
Is top tier.
Exactly.
Of second
Flash is left.
Right? If you look at it, you got top tier and you got second tier. Guardians 1 is the very top of the second tier.
I cannot agree. It's middle. It's middle top. It's middle top tier. It is fantastic.
And it depends on how many films you put into your top tier.
My top tier is like Avengers.
No, but how many films? Number wise, how many films? You say if there's 5 films in your top 5, if there's 5 films,
maybe 5.
All right. So if you say there's 5 films in your top tier, right? You're saying Guardian 1 is in your top 5. There's 23 movies, 24 movies right now.
Yeah. So my top 5. So my top 5.
Don't make it there for me.
Jesus.
Well, it's definitely in 6 to 10. It's definitely in films 6 to 10.
6 to
10. It's not 1 to 5.
Coming soon on the Creative Control podcast. MCU top tier movies.
It's not there for me. Sorry, it's not there for me.
You've got
Sasha
to do it now.
agree with me. He'll say Guardians is top tier.
Ken, you've got to do that now.
I will.
You've got to do it.
I planned my next episode already. So the next one we're talking about is top 10 movies set in a high school. But this will be next.
Faculty.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know where Sass has gone, but you may have killed him.
I think he's just going on social media to like unfriend you and stuff. So.
Satch, if you're still alive, we're moving on to Waterworld.
I type in Satchari, it comes up with no one exists.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another potentially odd film. There's going to be a Waterworld TV show apparently, and
Westworld.
Waterworld. I couldn't
Waterworld. The Kevin Costner one.
Yeah.
The Kevin Costner one.
Yeah. I couldn't be less excited for this.
That is actually something that will work as a TV show.
That's what Satch said. And,
yeah, I definitely believe the Waterworld is something that will work as a TV show. It's got a mythology there in terms of, you know, the map, the water taking over the world. In terms of climate change these days, that actually really fits well. So it's going to be a documentary. trying to find land, and I think that could work really well because you'll have lots of scenes on them trying to find land on water. Good conversational topic. If you treat it in the same way as Westworld in terms of the drama and the dynamic, I think something like Waterworld could do really well as a series. If it's in the right hands, I think it could do really well.
I mean, it's Universal, right?
It's what?
It's Universal, right?
I believe it is Universal.
Yeah. It's being done by the 10 Cloverfield Lane director.
Nice.
He's the show. I think he's the showrunner, and he's directing the pilot. I do believe. And they're saying it's a direct sequel to the original film.
Oh, wow.
No word yet on whether Costner's involved or whether the director from the original film's involved, Kevin Reynolds. That'd be interesting because they used to be best friends because he did Prince of Thieves and
they had a really good partnership.
Yeah, but they fell out on Waterworld.
I wonder why.
Yeah, they fell out hard on Waterworld. But the thing is, Waterworld. Okay, here's the thing. Before people rob me of this, all right. I saw that when it first came out to rent back in the day.
I saw it at the cinema.
And I never saw it in the cinema, but I saw it to rent, and I really enjoyed it.
Same.
You know, I really enjoyed it. I've not revisited it though.
Yeah.
And it's one of those films where I think I won't revisit it. I think I'm just going to keep the good feeling I had of it when I saw it as a kid, because I've heard some really bad things. But
all right, Cypher.
But we'll see, man. I mean, like, you know, with loads of like reboots and
ignorance
TV
is bliss
shows and stuff. I think ignorance is bliss, and also, it'll be interesting to see what they could do with these characters 20 years later and stuff. So,
because when it came out, I was like 14 or something, so I saw it at the cinema. It was a big summer blockbuster.
It came out just before Twister and Independence Day.
It was action packed and stuff like that, and I remember coming out thinking that was all right, something a bit different.
Most expensive movie of all time at 200 million. For its time.
At the time, yeah. A lot of that was because they insisted on filming on water, and then the set got blown over with hurricanes and tornadoes and shit. So they had to rebuild a lot of stuff. So, you know, they made some poor choices there, but they wanted to be authentic, to be on the water rather than like a tank, like a pool, which is what the studio was saying, you know, you should do this. But they actually filmed it on the sea, which made it incredibly difficult to film. So, but yeah, Dan Trachtenberg, I think he's a real good talent. So yeah, I think this could do really well as a TV series.
Let me know if it's good, guys. I have zero interest. Zero interest.
I'm gonna have to look up the hatred on Waterworld because I'm trying to. I watched it. The first time I watched it was on like the movie channel or Sky Movies, right?
If he was doing a sequel to The Postman,
I'm just like, nah. But I'm like, when I watched it, there was nothing wrong with the movie.
And that's the thing. People confuse it as a bad movie as opposed to a box office flop. It was a box office flop, but I don't think it's a bad movie.
I remember it getting bad
cut as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I remember it getting bad reviews back in its day.
Mythology to it.
Yeah.
You've all stopped talking now.
But again, like, you know, like there are tons of movies that get bad reviews that. Well, when you're looking at it, you sit there and you watch it and you're like, well, that was actually a really good movie. I really enjoyed that. So it's like I mean, there's four of us here, right? and we all have different opinions depending on the film, as we have gone through in this podcast alone. So I'm like, is that film really bad? I'm like, no. I
It's ambitious for its time. It's really ambitious for its time.
Yeah, I watched it more than once. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Well, it's a really, really practical.
No, in fact, the thing is,
okay. Well,
I think the only thing that I remember being dodgy was, I think, the bit where the thing swallows him and he blows it up. The little CG fish.
I can't even remember the film.
I'm the only one that's seen it recently. It seems. Look, I'm not gonna. I'm very cynical now as a 43-year-old, and you see a lot of films, and when you revisit something that you didn't like anyway, and this is as bad as I thought it was. It just maybe it's something to do with seafaring movies. I don't really like them.
Drawn to them.
No, I didn't even really like Cutthroat Island.
Oh no! See, that was a bad movie.
yeah. I think it's just seafaring films that I just don't like.
I've never seen that film.
It's not great.
Is it not?
No, it's not great.
I've never seen Cutthroat Island either.
You know what? Let's watch Cutthroat Island together.
Let's not.
Let's not say we did.
Yeah. Let's not change the subject.
Rennie Harlan, Gina Davis. How bad could it be?
Yeah.
All right, you watch it and you come back to me.
Yeah. You do that. You do that, man.
I will.
You have UCAC and
that was a solid dismissal. That wasn't even like, I'll watch it with you. That's like Fast and Furious. You disliked it, but you watched it with us. You're telling me Cutthroat Island is so bad that you're like, no, you can watch that by yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have any pictures. I'm going to skip the next topic because I have no pictures. The next one is Expendables 4. Is this 4? Yeah, Expendables 4. I mean,
it'd be number 4.
Are these guys dead yet?
No.
I mean,
they're indestructible, man.
It
should be called the Indestructibles, not the
don't die.
Expendables. No one dies in this.
Don't die, bro.
The last Expendables film I didn't really enjoy. I enjoyed the second and the first one. I
love the second one.
The second one was Mr. Ball with the third one. Very, it was all over the place. Whatever Sly's doing for this one, I pray that he gets David Leitch and
Chad.
I forgot his name.
Chad Zetsky or something like that.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah.
Yeah. I've lost my speech today. I hope they get those guys to do the choreography for it, all the action, because it needs that kind of shot in the arm, because the action there that he's displaying is very 80s and it didn't really work for the last one for me. It worked for the first two. But
you know what it was? You know what I would say in regards to the third one, why it probably didn't work, was that a lot of the people that they were using are a lot younger.
Right.
And their style of doing things. I mean, they had fucking Ronda Rousey in it, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you're taking people who can actually physically fight and get it on in a modern sense and trying to adapt that modern fighting to the way you did things back in the 80s and the 90s. And obviously the character dynamics really well. Like Gibson is brilliant, but you know, there were aspects that didn't really run.
Yeah, it was very disjointed. I can't say I enjoyed that last film. What do you make of this, guys? Ken?
Well, the mistake they made with the third one is they went the PG-13 route.
That's why.
So that's why it was quite different, and I think it was probably chopped up a lot in editing to achieve that rating because they probably weren't filming it like that. Look, for me, what Sylvester Stallone should use is his time with James Gunn and what they did with Suicide Squad, and do that with Expendables.
Fuck it, get James Gunn on the shit.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal. But you know, if he should say, James, do a couple of rewrites, or you know what, come and help me produce or whatever. But if they took that premise into the Expendables, that would work. And like Sasha said, like you guys mentioned, it's a movie where they're expendable, but nobody gets expended. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Everybody makes it through, so the stakes are never there. So what you want to see is just people dying left, right, and center. And there being surprises. Bring people in, kill them off. You know, have people who are long-standing, kill them off. You know, and just have a ball with it. You know, if it's going to be the last one,
they flirted with that. That so much. Like, if you think like between so in Expendables 2 they killed off Liam Hemsworth, and that.
Oh no!
In Expendables 3 they flirted with the idea of killing off Terry Crews. Like you flirted with it, but you didn't pull the trigger.
I would do it so every single character dies.
Yeah, just like Mission Impossible, the first Mission Impossible film. Who kills off me and the rest of us in the first 10 minutes of a film?
Yeah,
no one.
Exactly. So I would have every single person die, and Stallone be the last person to die at the end of it, and just that's it. They're done. That's how I'd go. I'd just have everybody kill, like Rogue One, you know, like every single one of them.
Oh yeah,
sacrifice themselves to a point to get to complete a mission, and they're done. That's how I'd roll.
I don't know whether I'd do that, but I'd definitely kill someone, or a few of them. But you know what it is with Expendables? I love the premise. I love the fact that it's these guys as the Expendables, but I just don't think. I think 2 was the closest to getting the movie Sly promised in its premise kind of thing. And I think it comes down with the script writing. They just need a decent writer and not just some average action movie Joe doing them, because I think it's a good premise. We need a better script on these films. And when Ken mentioned James Gunn and Suicide Squad, I'm like, that's the perfect guy. To be honest, we need someone of that caliber. Fuck it, get Quentin Tarantino to ghostwrite it, like how he did The Rock, and then you get like the best monologues. Do you know what? 3 was a bad movie, but the best scene in 3 is Mel Gibson's monologue, which he wrote himself. If you took that scene, but just that scene alone, you wouldn't have even thought it was an Expendables movie. You would have thought it was a monologue for an Oscar-winning film. I'm not even bullshitting there. So the premise with these characters is there. Like, my biggest problem was you have these misfits. You got someone like Dolph Lundgren's character, who in the first one has a huge drug problem. You know what I mean? And that's a really good defect for a character. Yeah, he appears like he's a dumb fuck, but actually, if you look at number 2, you find out that he has a degree at MIT. You know, and he's actually the most intelligent guy in the room, kind of thing. And that's actually based on Dolph Lundgren in real life. He actually does have a degree in engineering and shit. So,
a degree in life.
So I'm like, you know, there's a really good character there from the Dolph Lundgren character straight off the bat, which isn't actually utilized to its fullest. Even the Jason Statham character, I really liked his character in the first one because he had the annoying girlfriend calling him right when shit's going down and stuff, and that was, you know, for humor and jokes, I thought that was pretty, you know, for an action movie, that's pretty funny. But they could have done more with that and more with this character and that dynamic, but they never went deep with these characters, you know. And I feel that the premise is still quite rich, and I still would like to see those guys doing their thing, but let's go deeper with the characters. You know what I mean? And then kill 1 or 2 of them. You know what I mean?
And this is what I say about killing them all. So what I would do, 1 day filming, you get Dwayne Johnson, you get Mark Wahlberg, you get like Donnie Yen, and you know, you get all of these in, even like Chris Pine or something like that. Get them all in to the day's filming, fucking kill them all.
Yeah,
get all those big names on the screen on a poster, and kill them off in the first 5 minutes. That'd be jokes.
Yeah, that would be jokes, because you'd expect them.
Yeah, Batista, like and then you can have some of the younger characters who, you know, maybe survive, like
or just kill the guy
from Tenet, John David Washington. and stuff like that.
Or kill all the young guys from number 3 that didn't really make it.
Bring them all back and then kill them
back and just kill them off, man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's another one for your show, Ken.
What Expendables? What's next?
Yeah, yeah. It's a good premise. The premise you have is quite a good one. I don't really have anything more to say on. You right, Neil?
Ooh,
he's having an R2D2 moment.
We can't hear you on our side now.
Yeah, we can't hear Neil. Neil's just a still picture.
Probably wouldn't do it.
Neil, we didn't hear a word of what you said. Yeah. Okay. We didn't hear a word of whatever. I don't know if you're monologuing, but we didn't hear a word of it.
No, because I heard you say my name, and then I stopped talking, and I was like, "Can you see me? Can you hear me?"
Oh, okay.
None of you moved, and none of you answered. And
okay.
Shut me out.
Okay.
What I said is he would never do it, but if we could, I would have Dwayne Johnson. He's not there for one day. He's the villain. He's going to kill them all. Right? And then you have it because he is essentially, with the exception of, say, I don't know, Keanu Reeves, but you can't really use him because obviously he has the Matrix behind him.
And John Wick.
But I would say Dwayne Johnson is the latest of any of them. Of the big time, what you define as the old classic action hero motif. He is the latest. He is the latest one to pop up. So wouldn't it be having the greatness of, The Rock butcher all of your 80s heroes, and then one hero is left alive, and that hero is the one who takes him out and takes himself out at the same time.
Wow. Okay, that's a good premise as well.
Like if Stallone is the final one, like Stallone tries to fight The Rock, and it'd be a nice callback because Stallone got his ass kicked when he fought Stone Cold, right? In the first one. So you have him fight The Rock in this one, and he gets his ass kicked again, but it's like at the moment he's gonna die, it's just like, he pulls a Jean Reno from freaking Leon, and he's just like, what you got to say for yourself? And he's just like, here's a grenade pin.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, get there. I don't know. I don't know what to say. They could go anywhere with this. Either way, I'm going to move it on.
But I think 4 does need to be the end.
I mean, I thought 3 was the end. I thought that tanked the series, to be honest.
You know what? You know why it can't be the end? You know why 3 couldn't be the end? Because you're still missing some serious action movie people of that era. You won't get
Seagal. You will never get Seagal.
Oh no, forget him. I'm not talking about that fat barrel. No. But I'm like, where's Cynthia Rothrock? Like you put Ronda Rousey in it. Where's Cynthia Rothrock?
Rothrock, yeah, totally.
That's a good idea. Moving forward, because it's getting long. I'm going to merge these two stories together. It's Dev Patel not wanting to do big budget films anymore, and M. Night's Indiana Jones. So I don't. Where did you source this story from, Satch? Because I've not heard this one. So.
Dark Horizons had an interview with Dev Patel. He was just basically saying he avoids big budget blockbusters after his experience of the backlash to Avatar: The Last Airbender. And that he just generally seeks like independent films and stuff like that to boost them and boost himself, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I guess M. Night Shyamalan wasn't good to him in terms of being that his first big budget film, and I guess I don't blame him. It took him a while to kind of step back to who he is now.
I guess as well. The Last Airbender. I've not watched the show, but I've heard nothing but great things, and I know it definitely speaks to a younger audience, and I do believe it's within Dev Patel's like age group as well, kind of thing. So maybe when he heard he got cast in it, he had a Shia LaBeouf moment where he was like, I'm in Transformers, and then he gets to Transformers like, this ain't what, you know what I mean? I'm only speaking from speculation.
I don't think Shia LaBeouf knew what the fuck Transformers was. So, well, yeah, I'll be in that. Transformers, yeah, whatever. Again, he's in the Green Knight at the moment, and that's getting really good reviews. I think the films that he's been doing, whoever's his talent agent has really crafted the films that he's been doing really well, because they're all either really good indies or Oscar-worthy indies, and so he's just gone from ever since he won that Oscar for what's the Danny Boyle film?
Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah, he's just been going from strength to strength to strength.
He was fantastic in Lion.
Yeah. It really is. Film. And that's what I mean. He's become a bankable actor in the sense that you're going to get a good performance out of him. So he may jump into another film, a big budget film, maybe, but there's no point in him doing that now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, go
on. For me with this one, I think when you're like, and this is not based on any fact. This is just my interpretation of things I've seen from like seeing an actor have a amazing breakout role. Mm-hmm. When you're at the beginning, it's let me take on this big, massive, blockbuster thing, because it's like if you do well in a blockbuster, for the most part, you'll just the expectation is you'll do well in every blockbuster. Whereas, certain actors like are really like down for the craft of acting, and they really want that big, heavyweight, juicy, meaty role. Some of them can transition in and out of blockbusters very well. Some of them not so much. And it's like you take someone like, say, Robert Pattinson, right? So you see him in Harry Potter a little bit, right? Then he's in Twilight, and all right, he hated being in Twilight, but he was under contract. He did his 5 films, and then as soon as he was out of that, he was like, okay, I've got all the money I could possibly need. Now I can be an actor. And you've got Dev Patel, and he says that it was his, his experience on Airbender. Like, the film is not great, especially if you've watched the show. I'm sure that there's going to be backlash towards that. How often is an actor spared when a film is shit?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Right, it's very rare that an actor.
We've lost the
actor.
You've lost you a little bit there, Neil. Neil?
Have you? Because I can see him moving around and everything.
So you dropped out
yes.
when you were about to make a point. And then you came back as a... Yeah, did you like that, guys? Yeah, we didn't hear what you said. What?
All right, well, no, I was just... What was the last thing you heard me say?
I don't know. You're literally about to make a point about something. I don't know. I don't know what you were saying.
All right, well, yeah, sorry. What I was saying is that a lot of actors, young actors, are coming in it from the point of view of like, they want these big, juicy, meaty roles.
Okay, you're cutting out again.
They want roles that are like defining cinema.
Mm-hmm. Oof, that's getting really bad there.
Yeah, we've lost you again now. Well, look, what I'd say about we keep losing you, Neil. What I would say about Dev Patel is that he's a fantastic actor. He's earned himself a right to do what he wants, and if he wants to do smaller films, fair play to him. Look, he's a local boy, he's a Harrow boy, he's a fellow Whitmore boy. I missed him by about 10 years. What could have been if he was 10 years older, if I was 10 years younger, We
would have ruined that guy.
I could have been a contender. I could have been in the big leagues. I might reach out to him. Actually, I'll message him and say, "Look, fellow Whitmore boy, come on my podcast."
Yeah. So. Do it, man. You never know. You never fucking know.
You never guess who knows them.
Andrew.
I'm sure there's probably a few Harris.
Sharon. Julie.
No, Lorna knows them.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, you know her ex-husband.
Yes.
Yeah, I know him really well, actually.
Family friend.
Oh, okay.
No, I love that guy. What's he doing now?
He still has googly eyes.
I have no idea who he is. But anyway, Indiana Jones and M. Night Shyamalan. I don't give a shit.
Okay, I saw this line. I had no idea what the fuck this meant. So, did he write a treatment for it or something?
Yeah. So basically, he's promoting Old. Is it Old? His new film. He's promoting Old, and they just asked him about whatever happened to his Indiana Jones script. He wrote a script for Crystal Skull. But at the time, it didn't involve Crystal Skull. He had his own take on Indiana Jones for Spielberg. Spielberg loved it. Ford loved it. Lucas was like, nope.
Was the twist finding Indiana Jones himself as an old man?
Probably. What's your thoughts on M. Night tackling Indiana Jones?
Who cares? I don't care. Don't care. Don't care.
You know what? The only thing I will say about it is, if Ford and Spielberg loved it, then it probably has some merit. Considering, no disrespect to the man, but considering Lucas's track record is not as amazing as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed. I think if Ford and Spielberg liked it, there was definitely something to it. Because Ford's a hard man to please.
Yeah.
So if he liked the script and he liked what it was happening to the character and so forth like that, it'd be interesting to read it. But it's not happening, so it's kind of a mute point.
Ever since Lady in the Water, I've not given a fuck what this guy's done. I don't see any need for that to change. No offense to him. Fair play to him. He's still in Hollywood, still doing his thing. Let him do his thing over there. I don't give a fuck.
Wow. Okay.
Has anyone seen
Am I the only person who doesn't feel that Lady in the Water is like the worst thing ever?
That killed me.
I've never seen it.
You might as well. No, that killed me. I can't
But
do
you
it.
know what?
I can't do it.
I enjoyed Split, but that's probably Split was probably the last thing I really enjoyed of his since probably Signs.
Yeah, same.
Now, you know what, right?
The Village I didn't rate. Then you had Lady in the Water, The Happening. Oh my God,
that's a comedy.
Yeah, The Last Airbender, After Earth. Then you had The Visit, then Split. Glass was okay, but it's but you know, for his cinematic universe. But and Old is okay. It has some fairly good points, but like The Happening, the acting is very hit and miss. Some have been really hammy in some places. So
okay,
all right,
yeah.
Thank God no one greenlit his Indiana Jones script. Thank God.
It's not saying he's directing it, but if he wrote it,
but again, like I said,
I do say that.
And Harry,
did he write Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
So if he wrote all those, he's got some writing credentials. But
he's written all of his movies, though.
No, well, Oldie definitely hasn't because that's based on a book. But,
is it? Okay.
Yeah. After Earth, I don't know. Or Last Airbender, it wasn't. Lady in the Water, I think it was a remake or something.
Was it? Okay, fair enough.
But the thing about him, he always inserts himself in a way, or the MacGuffin is that, oh, you were always already old, or you were. This was Earth all along.
There is definitely that in Old. There is that twist at the end.
Oh God, you've spoiled the movie for me now.
No, he spoiled the movie for himself.
No, it's a Shyamalan film. Of course, there's gonna be a twist.
Yeah.
But the twist is obviously not his. It's in the book, and
okay.
So it's part of the story, but it is a movie that there is a reason for what is happening. Do you know what I mean? So it is explained. But what happens is. This is where he doesn't know his directing is falling, because there's a bit in Old where you think, right, that's where you end it, but then there's like another 5 minutes, and it's like if you just not put that last 5 minutes on, it would have ended on a much better note, but you've kind of dragged it out to over explain what's happened, as opposed to just taking it for face value and think, right, that makes sense, that's fine, I can deal with that. he has to show how it got to that point. It's like, you don't need that. It's just stupid.
Okay, so he has written all the screenplays for all of his movies.
He's written all the screenplays.
Yeah, all the screenplays. So the ones
writing
he's
screenplays is
adapted,
different to writing the story. So, but
he's written the script for all of them, and screenplay for adapted stuff. So he's the writer. So I'm kind of with you and Neil really. Spielberg and Ford thought there was something in there. Yeah, if Spielberg and Ford thought something was in there, maybe there could have been something to it, but we'll never know. Or maybe we will know. Someone like leak it online, please. I want to read it.
Okay, look.
If it's Indiana Jones, I will. So
Jones had enough.
Fuck this guy. If the only film of his I'll watch is if it's just credits. That would be the best thing he's ever done. Just credits. You go into the theater. From M. Night Shyamalan.
Did you like Split, Joe?
No.
What?
So have you liked any of his, or just nothing since Lady in the Water?
Nothing since Lady in the Water.
Right. Okay, that's fine then. If you like Unbreakable.
Did you not like The Visit?
The Visit. I don't know that one.
Hang on. Did you even watch Split?
No.
Damn it! I knew he didn't watch Split.
That's funny.
Never again. Never again.
You know what? You say that right.
You missed out.
No, I haven't. I really
you
haven't.
have.
No,
You have.
I feel really good right now. I'm great.
Split, and you may feel different.
Maybe. How about I might as well just eat out of a toilet bowl or something. I'll do that from now on.
Wow, Joe's not playing, boy.
No.
I thought I had some strong opinions. Joe's not listening.
Hey man, look, there are a lot of talented people around that can make films. He's a 1.5 hit wonder. Fair enough. Fair enough. That's cool. You do your thing. I will not.
No, he's definitely overrated as a director. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that. He had like two and a half good movies for me. Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, and Signs. Signs is a half.
Yeah.
So for me, it was 2.5 good movies, and that's it.
I really enjoyed Signs, regardless of the massive plot hole. But
you mean the end? Swing away.
Why'd they come to?
This is his ego, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he always stars in his own movies. He's got a real ego.
See, now that's the thing. When I watched Lady in the Water, I didn't know what he looked like, so I had no idea it was him.
I did, and I didn't appreciate it. And I didn't
he's in
appreciate
old
that
as well. He's in old as well, and his acting's awful.
Damn it! What is wrong with this guy?
He wishes he was an actor. That's what it really boils down to. He probably wishes he was an actor, and he never got cast for anything. So he's like, if I make my own movies, I can put myself in it all the time.
Well, look, I know we're not in hell because God didn't allow him to make this Indiana Jones film, so that's good. That's good. And on that note, I'm bringing the show to an end. I'm bringing the show to an end, man, because that's if I say any more, yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys. This has been great. It's been a great show. We've been through some highs and lows. It's fucking great. Yeah. Ken, where can we find your podcast and you?
So you can find me on Twitter to tell me I'm right or wrong. Ken and Talks Film, or search Creative Control. You can find our shows on YouTube, or the podcast audio is available on all major podcast platforms. So,
fantastic, cool. Neil, anything to plug?
Yeah, what Ken said.
Oh, okay. Satch?
I got nothing.
Okay. And Satch works for a company called AdStream. Go check it out. You can get it on your mobile or on your any mobile device. Am I right in saying that?
Mobile, PC, laptop, retro gaming streaming service. So if you like old retro games, check us out, adstream.com.
Boom. There you go. You need a bonus for that. And this podcast you can find in places. You'll find it. It's there. You got the internet. Put in Zedos game, you'll find it. Yeah, that's it. So
I'm going to watch Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, you're going to watch Old again because you love it.
I want to play some Warzone, man.
That's the last one. I swear. I won't do him anymore. This has been the Zedos Zone podcast. We're out.
Peace.
Go on, do it. Come on.
I am the man that killed Jamie Lannister.